Elijah Lamb, yeah. Yalla in the ring and he never backs up. Bible in his hand when the doctrine acts up. What? Islamic dilemma got him stuck, jammed up, say something. He hits them with the truth and they can't stand up. Yeah, young Christian soldier, yeah, he built for the fight. Hold up, knows the scripture like a blade sharp, cutting through the night. Facts on it. You wanna bring a claim, better bring it right on. Cause Elijah drive facts in the end your whole night, run it back. Yeah, first things first, Elijah stepping with the fire. Yeah, young lion in the faith, big truth aim higher. When he pull that Bible out, the whole vibe shifts. What? Cause every single verse hitting like a full clip. Facts, he refuting Islam daily, that's light work. Hold up, breaking down doctrines, exposing where it don't work. Yeah, they try to spin stories, but none of it sticks. You hit them with the dilemma, watch them fall back quick. Say something, is the Quran from Allah or is it from man? He asked the right question and they can't even stand. Facts, push left, push right, they can't break through. Hold up, cause every answer they give leaves a contradiction to what? Yeah, what? Elijah in the ring and he never backs up. Bible in his hand when the doctrine acts up. Yeah, Islamic dilemma got him stuck, jammed up, say something. He hits them with the truth and they can't stand up. Young Christian soldier, yeah, he built for the fight. Fact, knows the scripture like a blade sharp, cutting through the night. Hold up, you wanna bring a claim, better bring it right. What? Cause Elijah drive facts in the end your whole night running back. They say he too young, nah, he too blessed. Yeah, mind built strong, Holy Spirit in his chest. He break down top, sir, had if every root, say something. Then switch to the gospel, yeah, he double shoes facts. No panic, he's standing with a war tone. Hold up, won't bow to Islam cause he know the truth alone. Every false claim tossed at him gets overturned. Cause the scriptures stay lit and the lies get burned. Yeah, he ain't disrespecting, he defending the way. Facts. But if you bring up a challenge, he'll make you stand this way. His debating technique, man, he polished and clean. Hold up, got Muslims scratching heads like, what does this mean? Yeah, every debate end with the same storyline. Their arguments fold and his truth still shine. Facts. He ain't cocky, he just knows who he stands for. Say something, and he's locked in the face like a lion ready for war. Yeah. What? Elijah in the ring and he never backs up. Bible in his hand when the doctrine acts up. What?
6
Islamic
hours
dilemma got him stuck, jammed up, say something. He hits them with the truth and they can't stand up. Yeah, young Christian soldier, yeah, he built for the fight. Hold up, knows the scripture like a blade sharp, cutting through the night. Facts on you wanna bring a claim, better bring it right. Cause Elijah drive facts and the end your whole night run it back. Yeah, that's Elijah, baby. Young lion standing firm in the faith. What? Never folding, never shaking. Hold up, always leading with scripture. Always bringing the light. Facts. Bringing an argument, he break it down clean. Say something, bring the doctrine, he slice it with the word. Yeah, he ain't here for class.
What's the deal, everybody? Happy New Year to my people who's watching, who's all the way across the world. Happy New Year if you're watching this later, and then Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year, peace. I pray that y'all have a good New Year, an eventful New Year, full of blessings, not none of the wickedness that could happen.
I don't know about the wickedness part, bro. 2025, whenever it started off insane. Like 2 days into 2025, we had the craziest things going on.
I remember the beginning of 2025, TikTok is supposed to be gone.
Bro, TikTok been supposed to be gone like I think how many times now?
TikTok was supposed to be gone, bro. I was like, dang, I had to get my YouTube started up so that I could still go live, bro. They shut TikTok down this year. That was crazy.
It was for like 24 hours too, and then we came back.
Hey, we made money off of that, so they shut it down.
You made money off of what? Off TikTok closing?
Yeah, me and you.
How we made money off of that?
We had a bet.
Oh!
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh, it's the deal. Happy New Year, Ted East. Happy New Year, Maria. God bless you guys. And peace and love of Jesus Christ to all of you as well. You know, as a real Christian, you should not beef with people with other religions. I'm just asking, why aren't you Christian, bro? What's the beef? Why I can't beef with them? Who said I can't beef with them? Yeah. God bless you too, Maria. Hopefully we can have a good live, chill live. I don't expect it to be too many people in this live because obviously people got plans to bring in the new year. But Light, are you gonna be doing anything for your born day?
No, not really.
Y'all not able to celebrate that as Muslims, right? Like that's not something y'all do.
As what? As what?
Y'all not y'all not able to celebrate that as Muslims, right? Like that's
What are you
not.
talking about?
You be sending me a whole bunch of Islamic videos. I thought that's where you was leaning.
You mind you, I had you ask me, hey, can you send me videos? What was it? I don't even remember. Bro.
Yeah, you got an awful memory, bro.
I do.
Yo, what's up, boy?
Bro, are you gonna be doing the same thing over, or you want to
I'm
actually
just
have
trying
a
to have a
conversation?
conversation, brother.
Okay, well, if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation.
Okay, I want to talk to you and not the guy who's below me, because that guy, I joined his live a couple times and he's worse than you, to be honest with you.
So you don't even
But
go
it's okay, we
live.
could talk.
I don't even be going live. What is this guy about?
Bro, you're worse than him, to be honest with you, but
I
it's
guess
okay.
so, man.
It's okay. I'm gonna bring you guys to Islam one day, don't worry about it. Anyways, so what's the topic, man? Why I'm not a Christian?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe God can be a human. You believe God can be a human?
Why can't God be a human? Why can't he become man?
Because us men and us girls, us humans, we're limited, and God isn't
Us
limited.
girls? I'm not a girl.
Us girls, us guys, whatever. I'm just saying, humans, right? We're limited. Us as humans,
you a
we're
girl?
limited. Bro, now you want to be funny with me, boy?
No, I'm genuinely asking. Are you a girl?
No, it's because there's girls in the comments. So us girls, us guys, we're limited. Are we not? We're not all powerful. We're not all knowing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're not like God. God is all powerful. So us, like God becoming a man, that would make him limited like us, don't you think?
No, so it depends on like what in what respect you're speaking about God, right? So like God can manifest himself through the human nature, and that doesn't mean that his divine nature is now limited.
Well, I mean, it kind of is, because when you're Jesus, right? When he came as a man and when he was limited, you're saying that doesn't take away his divine nature, but he was completely limited in his human form. And we see that throughout the Gospels. When we see that through his actions, he needed
Like,
to eat.
hold on one second.
He needed to eat. He needed to poop. He needed to learn in wisdom. He was completely limited. Don't lie to me, boy.
Like, does this sound like a completely different person? He probably wasn't paying attention.
I'm not gonna lie. I did hear a tone change. I did. See
Okay.
bro. It kind of did
Yes.
sound different to me.
Yeah. All right. Is that so? That's just you, right? Like, there's nobody else with you.
Yeah, it's just me.
That sounds like a completely different person than like the one who was just speaking. It sounds like another person from. All right, bro. But yeah. So no. So like, for example, you're Muslim. Like Allah appears in the tree, right? To Moses. Right?
No. We're not going to use that scenario. We're talking about Christianity.
I know. So look. This is your chance to say whatever you want about Christianity. It's my job. Okay, it's my job to articulate the truth of Christianity in a way in which you understand. Now, I'm giving you examples from your paradigm so that it will be easier for you to understand my paradigm, your worldview.
Define paradigm.
Your worldview.
My worldview.
Yes.
Okay, listen here.
So hold on. Listen. So the same way, or in like manner, in which Allah can manifest himself in a way in which humans are able to understand, God is able. He has the power to manifest himself through the human nature. There's no problem there. That doesn't mean that now his divine nature is now limited.
But it was though.
No, Christians don't believe that.
Hey boy, look.
Okay, look. I have 4 people in the request. If you want to keep going down this path, I will move on. If you want to have an actual conversation, one, you continuously call me boy when I asked you to be respectful the last time we had a conversation. You said that you wanted to have a conversation. I'm willing to have that with you if you if you want to like just be a normal person. If you don't want to be a normal person, I can and I will move on.
Look, bro. Okay. I can say my bad, bro. When I talk to Christians, it's just, you know what I mean? I get hyped up because they're so easy to destroy. You know what I mean? It's because your guys' brains. I'm talking to you the way that I talk to like my younger nieces. You know what I mean? So that you can understand. Because your brain is like very underdeveloped.
Bro, come on.
So listen here. I'm going to put it in ways that you can understand, okay? So, your God manifested into human flesh, as you'd like to say, and you say that he still has his divine nature. Now, can I ask you something? In a short answer, just tell me, what's his divine nature? Don't give me a long preaching answer. Just tell me, what's his divine nature?
That which makes God God.
Okay, thank you very much. That what makes God God. Now, when he was a human, he needed to learn, he needed to eat, he needed to sleep, he needed to use the bathroom. That's not things that the all-powerful God does. As he was in the human form, he needed to grow. God doesn't need to grow.
$19.
You hear me, boy?
Lil boy has no respect, and what do you expect from a person whose dad is his uncle?
Hey boy.
I didn't say that, right? That wasn't me.
Okay, well, tell your chat to calm down. Be respectful.
I appreciate the $20 super chat saved. God bless you.
He donated $20 to say that?
Yeah.
Typical Paulinian. You understand my perspective, though?
Yes, I understand your perspective. So,
okay.
So in regards to you're pretty much just saying that the human nature has properties that are contrary to the divine nature, in which Christians are going to say, yeah, but that doesn't stop God from having the power in order to like manifest himself to creation. Like, so God can manifest himself to creation through any means, but it's like, so manifesting himself to creation through the image of God.
I1B.
Then hold on.
$5. Donkey pull card PPL.
So
your mom's a donkey. Your mom is the donkey. Your
bro,
dad's
don't get distracted. Don't get distracted.
No.
Okay?
No. I'm not about to hear shit talk, bro. Go ahead.
Here, I'm gonna move on. Okay.
Your mom's a whore.
This
Paulinian. I'll slap Christ.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We ended off the year strong.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can fix the text to speech again.
It messed up or something?
Nah, it's just so super robotic for no reason.
What'd you do to it?
I tried to make it. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, what's up? You're like super muffled. Hello? Hello?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, sorry about that. I am an atheist, meaning, and an agnostic atheist, meaning I just haven't had enough evidence.
You just cut out.
What evidence do you find convincing?
Of God's existence? Hello?
Right here.
Yeah, you keep cutting in and out.
There we go. What evidence do you find convincing that there is a God?
The argument for motion?
I haven't heard that one.
Okay, so the argument for motion is pretty much going to operate off the premise that change exists, and from that we can then go on to deduce that God exists.
I'm not sure how that is evidence or even a coherent.
Yeah, it's an argument. I could give you the argument. I just gave you like a brief summary of the argument. You want to hear the argument?
Instead of the argument, I would like the evidence. Because the evidence is what supports the argument.
Yeah, so you know what an argument is?
Yes.
Okay, so an argument is a demonstration, right? So we're going to demonstrate that God exists by giving you premises that lead to a conclusion. So this is called logical evidence, or just a logical demonstration of the existence of God. And the logical demonstration that I would be using is going to be the argument from motion, or the argument from change. So from the fact that change exists, we can logically deduce that God exists.
Okay, run me through them if you can.
Okay. So change exists, and by change, we mean the actualization of potential. Let me know if there's any terms that I'm using that you don't understand. I'm more than happy to define any terms.
So you're saying change is the actualization of potential.
Yes. Do you know what
Okay.
those words mean, or no?
Yes, just want to make sure.
Oh, okay. Okay, so change is the actualization of potential, but potential cannot actualize itself. Therefore, whatever changes or whatever is actualized by something else. Does that make sense so far?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so I think it'd be best if I just define the term. So when we say change is the actualization of potential, potential is going to refer to what a thing like could be. It's the could be that exists in a thing. And then actualization or actuality is going to refer to what a thing is. So for example, like a pot of water has the potential to be hot. Like it could be hot, but that's different from when it's actually hot. Now, when it goes from potentially being hot, meaning that it's currently cold, it's actually cold, to actually being hot, then that's what we call change.
Jesus is God, and no vile words can't change that.
Amen. So that's what we mean. So by that definition, do you agree that change exists?
Change, yes, I agree with that.
Okay. But potential cannot actualize itself, just like a pot of cold water can't make itself hot.
That I disagree with.
Okay. Why do you
The
disagree with
reason I
that?
disagree with is because of quantum field theory.
What about
So
it?
quantum field theory, or quantum field, it's not even theory, it can be demonstrated. It can, without any type of stimulus, instantly, and without any other thing being reliant on anything else, can produce particles out of nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't get away from the fact that you're still looking at change. So you're saying that this quantum field goes from pretty much not having particles to having particles, right?
No, what I'm
And
saying
you're
is
all you're
quantum
saying is
field
that
suffuses through all of reality. It's measurable, it's testable.
yeah, that's fine. That doesn't get around. So a potential actualizing itself is literally a contradiction. So you're just saying that you believe in contradictions.
No, what I'm saying is we have an observation. We have an observation that we can verify independently and objectively.
That's fine.
This observation flies in the face of one of your statements.
No,
So
it does. I'm saying that look, you can
Explain
so
to me
quantum
what
yeah.
actualizes a quantum field.
So this argument doesn't hinge upon knowing what actualizes a thing. It's just saying that a thing goes from potentially being one way to actually being one way. That's all that's being stated, is that potentials can't actualize itself because it's a contradiction. Because for a potential to actualize itself, you're saying that this potential is actual and not actual in the same time, in the same respect. That's a contradiction. We're not saying, we know why everything does the way that it does it. That's not what we're talking about. So quantum particle fluctuations isn't going to get around the fact that these particles go from potentially being visible or seen to actually being visible and seen. Or the quantum field goes from potentially having these quantum particles seen to actually having these quantum particles seen. That doesn't change that. It's still a change that's happening. That's the fluctuation.
Yeah, the problem I had with it is that you said something needs to kick off that actualization.
So if the quantum field is not there, do the quantum particles still fluctuate?
Well, no, because there's no quantum field.
Exactly. So these quantum particles are going to depend on the quantum field in order to actualize said potential. Exactly. Exactly. So that's the point.
But what you said is there something that's needed to take it from one potential to actualize into another.
Yeah, this is so
has been demonstrated in any way, shape, or form, even just with quantum field with that.
So the crazy thing is that this argument is not going to hinge upon a series of actualizers in regards to an event, saying that you know the previous event that causes actualization, but it's going to rely on a series of pretty much dependent actualizers. So the quantum particle fluctuations cannot be actualized, right? They cannot fluctuate into existence and out of existence without the quantum field. So the quantum field needs to be there. Those quantum fluctuations depend upon the quantum field to have this potential be actualized. That's all that needs to be stated for this argument. We're not talking about, oh, it's this thing that makes it kickstart. That doesn't matter for us. That doesn't matter at all. It's just saying that, oh, it depends upon something that is previously actual in order to be actualized.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you is, mathematically, it's been proven that the quantum field itself, not the particles, so we're past the particles, the quantum field itself did not need anything to actualize it. It has been here throughout eternity and mathematically shows that it could always be throughout eternity without having an initial kickoff event.
That you're literally lying.
I'd be happy to let you keep going with your premises, but that one I already have an issue with. But by all means, continue, because I think we're at an impasse with that.
Yeah, so in regards to, it doesn't even matter. So in regards to your quantum field, just I'll keep going with the argument because what you're saying doesn't have anything to do. But in regards to your argument, right, the quantum field is made of like space and material and matter, which scientists agree had a beginning and had an origin.
No, it actually predates all of those. So
Doesn't
that's
even
what
make any
scientists
sense, bro.
believe was the actual initiation.
So
of
where's the quantum? Where's the quantum field?
Suffused through all of reality.
It's infused through all of reality, right? Is it material?
Suffused.
Okay, is it
Through
material?
all of reality.
Is it material?
Define material. Like, is it measurable? Yes. Can you hold it in your hand? No.
Yeah. So in regards to it being material, and all material existence as we know it had a beginning, it would just be against that. But it doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't matter at all from an argument. You could believe that the universe is eternal. It doesn't change this argument.
But again, go ahead then.
Okay.
I would love to hear the rest of it.
Yeah. So change exists, and change is the actualization of potential. Potential can't actualize itself. Therefore, whatever is actualized by something else. Are you good so far?
Go ahead, yeah.
This leads to a chain of actualizers where each thing depends on the previous to cause its change right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, but an infinite chain of such actualizers is impossible. Because if it was infinite, then change would not exist, but change does exist. Therefore, this chain is finite, and there must be a first actualizer.
But that's the problem with the argument you just made. So you've just set up a double negative, basically. You've said that everything that changes needs an actualizer, except for the first one. So that's special pleading.
No, it's not.
It is. It's 100% is. You're literally setting up different rules for different things.
No. So we're logically...
Explain how.
We can logically deduce. So if in every single... So here, I'll give you an analogy, right? You're not going to understand that. This is just an analogy, okay? If I take my phone and I plug it into a charger that's plugged into an extension cord that's not plugged into a wall, will my phone be charging?
No, of course not.
Okay, what if I plug another extension cord into it that's not plugged into the wall? Will it be charging?
No, of course not.
What if I do that infinitely and it's just an infinite chain of extension cords? Will my phone ever be charging?
No.
Okay, but I see that my phone is charging. What does that mean?
That means at some point or in some fashion, you're getting energy.
Okay, so there's some type of source of energy where it's not derived. It's because all the extension cords are the same, where it derives its its electricity from the previous member. But that means that they don't have electricity in itself to cause my phone to be charging, but it receives that actualization from the previous member. Now, if
Yeah,
that,
I
hold on,
understand.
wait, if that went on forever, then I would never see my phone be charging, meaning that this would never be actualized, right? No change would exist. But change does exist. Therefore, there must be a first actualizer that has this actualization in itself and doesn't receive actuality from anything else. That's not special pleading. That's literally just logic.
Yeah, and for me, that is the quantum field.
That's
for you,
okay.
it's God.
Okay, no. So
Unfortunately, the
listen,
problem
listen.
is
Just
I
wait,
can show
wait,
you the quantum field.
wait. Just listen. Okay. So right now you're saying that it's the quantum field. Fantastic. Cool. So you understand that this chain can't go on forever. So it must be finite, which means that it terminates in a first. You're saying that this first actualizer is the quantum field. Okay, that means that you're granting the first actualizer. You understand that, right?
I'm granting that in this scenario, yes, we can call the first actualizer the quantum field.
Fantastic. We could call it X for right now. Now we're gonna deduce the attributes of X. Okay, we're gonna figure out the things that we could figure out about X. Okay, so this first actualizer is purely actual, meaning that it does not change. It doesn't receive actuality, right? It's always constant. It does not change. Okay. That's
Okay.
that's what it means to be purely actual. Okay. So for a purely actual actualizer, if the purely actual actualizer could change, then it would go from potential to actual in some respect. But it has no potential, so it cannot change. Therefore, it is immutable. So now this purely actual actualizer, we understand that it's immutable. Okay?
Okay.
All right. If it were material, it would be composed of form and matter, which entails potential. But it has no potential. Therefore, it is immaterial. Okay, so now we have the fact that it is unchangeable and we have the fact that it is immaterial. Okay?
Well, I have a question because you keep using this word material. And I don't know if you mean like physically material or if you're able to, if that also extends to energy. Because as we should know, energy and matter are interchangeable. So if you're hung up on matter, then let's just switch it to energy. But if you're hung up on energy, I don't know where you're coming from because you're asking for energy to power energy. And then at the very end, if there is a prime, mover, that one you're going to have to special plead for. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts or ways around it.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the quantum field and this thing being material, saying that they are physical entities that fill all of space and time with particles and stuff like that. That's what you're talking about, the quantum field. Then it's material.
Well, a field isn't necessarily material. A field doesn't necessarily carry energy, nor can it
So
actualize.
this quantum field, right? This quantum field, it fills all of this universe, right?
As far as we can tell and measure, yes.
Okay. And this universe is expanding.
As far as we can tell and measure, yes.
So is the quantum field expanding?
It is, yes.
Okay, so that means it's changing.
Not necessarily. When you stretch a balloon, do you change it?
Yes, you're literally changing the dimensions of the balloon. Yes.
But is that changing what it is?
It's not about changing the nature. It's about some aspect of it is changing. That means that the quantum field has the potential to be expanded, to be bigger, and it is getting bigger with the expansion of the universe, which means that it's not immutable because it changes.
So
it's not this. So now, boom,
do you
you're
agree that the universe is expanding?
sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Does God have power over all of the expanding universe?
I don't know what God you're talking about right now because you don't believe in God. So
We'll go with
right
the
now,
Christian God. We'll
yeah.
just go with the
So
Christian
okay,
God.
but right now, before we
Instead of
before we move
dodging
on,
that very
before we move
specific
on,
and pointed
I need
question.
no. Before you move on, I need you to recognize that the thing who you first thought was the purely actual actualizer cannot be the purely actual actualizer because the purely actual actualizer is immutable. You just conceded that the quantum field changes, therefore it's not this thing that we're talking about. So
And
now,
again, I'm
we're
maintaining
talking.
that it's not changing.
No, you just said that the quantum field changes.
No, I literally told you the opposite. Just because something
Got you. Don't even say.
covers
Don't even
an
trip.
area
Don't even
doesn't
trip.
mean
Don't
it
even trip.
itself changes.
Don't even trip.
So if I
Luckily for us, we got this all recorded. We'll go back
If
and
I
play
write-
it back.
if
we'll
I
go-
write your name,
We'll go
on
back
a
and play
balloon,
it back, bro. You don't have to. You don't have to trip,
You
bro.
don't have to.
We'll go back and play it back.
As far as we can tell and measure, energy nor
I got you. This dude, bro.
If I write 2 dots on a balloon and stretch the balloon, have those dots moved?
Yeah, and
if
so
I
has
write
the
2
balloon.
dots on a balloon.
So is the balloon.
It's about some aspect of it is changed, and all of this.
So you're saying that those dots have
are physical entities that fill all of space and time with particles and stuff like that. That's what you're talking about, the quantum field, and it's material.
Well, a field isn't necessarily material. A field doesn't necessarily carry energy, nor can it.
So this all of this universe, right?
I don't know what you're trying to make.
Look,
Nobody
no, you
even
hold
understands
on,
what's
hold
going
on.
on.
No, you said that you did not say that the quantum field changes. That's what you said. You said the exact opposite. Now I'm finna play it for you to show that you're just lying. Here.
All of this universe, right?
As far as we can tell and measure, yes.
Okay, and this universe is expanding.
As far as we can tell and measure, yes.
So is the quantum field expanding?
It is, yes.
Okay, so that means it's changing.
Not necessarily.
There we go.
When
Oh
you
my
start
God. Thanks for
to
proving me
It
right.
changes.
Do you not understand?
I'm like, no, not necessarily.
Do you
You spent all that
do you
time
not?
to
No. So when you
dunk on
say
somebody and then prove
not,
yourself wrong.
no.
That's
When you
freaking
say
crazy, dude.
that the
That's crazy, dude. that
when
spent all
you
that
say
time over
that the
talking, you spent
quantum
all that
field
time
is
going through your
expanding,
recorded thing,
that means you're
and then
saying it's
exactly what I
changing.
said was the case is what I said earlier.
No, you don't understand. You're not
Wow.
understanding. When
Wow.
you say that the
What a
quantum field
waste
is
of time, man.
expanding, you're saying it's changing. That's what you don't
went through the
understand.
entire thing to try
Yes.
to prove me wrong, and then just got
And
proven
I
wrong.
just did. When you say that the
Okay.
quantum field is expanding,
like, no, not
you're saying it's
necessarily.
changing.
You said
When
it
you
was
say that it's
changing. Is it
yes,
changing?
that's
no, not
changing.
necessarily.
First of all, not
That's crazy that
necessarily.
you spent that much time to
First of
dunk on
all,
yourself.
not necessarily is not no. Secondly,
You're
when you
dishonest,
say
dude. That's
when you
okay.
say
Have a great
that
night.
something is expanding, that means that it's changing. That's literally what it means. You just got caught in your own stuff. That's why you ran. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Elijah? What you up to arguing on Christmas Eve, man? I mean, on
Man,
New Year's Eve.
I'm trying to stay consistent, man. I'm trying as hard as I can.
I know, man. It's tough. Sometimes you don't want to get on. No, man. I had jumped up. I'm at work right now, but I wanted to address not this last dude, but the Muslim before that, if you don't mind indulging me for like 15, 20 seconds, because this argument about God not being a man drives me up the wall. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And when they every single time they bring it up, I ask them one simple question, and they never can, because Muslims, they do the same thing every time. They add to and change what their Quran actually says, because nowhere in their Quran does it ever say that that God can't be a man. Never.
Yeah.
Actually, the argument falls apart once you ask them that question. The Quran never says that God cannot be a man, that he can't enter creation, not once.
Yeah.
The only claim that they make, that they constantly like to smear around, is that Jesus is not God, right? Or that God cannot have a son, which is a theological denial. Sure, we can grant them that, right?
Yeah.
But that's not a statement about God's power. And what they try to do is they try to quietly smuggle in this philosophical claim that the text in the Quran never actually makes, which I find hilarious. Right?
They don't care about their Quran.
No, they don't. They
Yeah.
don't. That's something that they try to say on a regular basis. But when you tell them where is that in your text, they're not going to be able to find it because it doesn't say that. As a matter of fact, just so everybody in your audience realizes, if they didn't know this already, the Quran repeatedly says that Allah does whatever he wills, right? That we already understand. So I don't get how the Quran can say that God does whatever he wills, but then in the same breath they say that God can't be a man or he can't enter creation, right?
Yeah,
It never ever says that he can't do those things. And if we look at the Bible and the Quran, it shows God interacting inside of creation
exactly.
in both texts, right? Speaking, appearing, sending his spirit, sending angels in physical form, where he descends to the lowest heaven. I'm sorry, the lowest heaven is still creation.
Yeah,
So if he can't enter creation, then how is it that he can't interact with his creation?
yeah,
Can he do whatever he wants,
or
or can
not.
he not?
Exactly.
It's very simple, right?
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, but if you are the most powerful being in the universe and outside of the universe, how as a Muslim do you feel that you can justify your arrogance by telling the rest of the world and establishing parameters on what God can and cannot do?
yeah.
Because you can't metaphysically or philosophically prove that he can't do that. You're just saying it.
Just because they feel like it works for them right now. And then when you show them the hadith or the Quran where, oh, he is doing these things, all of a sudden they'll throw scholars under the bus, hadith under the bus, Quran under the bus. It don't even matter to them. It's like, man,
Yeah. Yep, that's the thing, man. But I definitely utmost respect the way that you have a lot of patience with these dudes,
I be
and
trying.
I'm noticing these Muslims and their sometimes not so subtle racist little tropes. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I think that,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm in my car trying to bite my tongue, and I'm like, dude, these
Yeah.
dudes just keep on and on, man. And I'm telling you, they think they're just gonna continue to get away with it.
Yeah. Trying to get me to crash out. I ain't gonna let them. I'm gonna try not to let them.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah. Man,
It's
thank
hard,
you for
but yeah,
coming up, man. I'm excited to work with you too, bro. I'll
for
be
sure,
looking
brother.
forward to it, man.
Yeah, the tenth of January, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah and I will be doing a co-live stream.
Absolutely.
We will be exposing more truth, exposing more deceit, and we'll be doing it as brothers in Christ, man. I'm gonna get back to
Amen.
work, but thanks for having me up, brother.
Nah, thank you. God bless you, man.
You too, brother.
Shout out to brother Maverick, man. That's gonna be on January 10th, 2026. Whole new year.
Yo,
Yo,
what's good, bro?
not much. What's going on?
Good. Question why I'm not a Christian? Because I don't believe in a man God.
What do you mean by man God?
Come on, bro. We're both not stupid. Jesus is a man and he's God, right? I don't believe in him.
Well, Jesus is God that became man. Does God have the power to take on flesh?
No, he doesn't.
So he just doesn't have that power. Does God have the power to enter creation?
What do you mean by entering creation? We gotta specify that.
Come on, man. We not stupid.
Yeah, that's different from a man God. you know that's different from a man
Can
God, bro.
God enter into creation? Can he interact with?
For example, because I know what you're gonna go with this. You're gonna say, you're gonna bait me into saying no, and then you're gonna say, does Allah enter into heaven? I know you guys.
I don't have to bait you into doing anything. That's
but,
not my.
that's why I'm saying it depends.
So look,
but
hold on.
when you
My
say
goal.
that, yeah,
Wait.
I
My
agree.
goal is not to bait you into anything or get a got you moment or anything like that. It's to have a genuine conversation. So I'd rather you just be honest, right?
I am being honest.
Okay, cool. So if Allah can enter into creation, then just say, yeah, Allah can enter into creation.
Yeah, but I have to qualify it. So what I mean by
What are you
that is,
qualifying?
I'm about to tell you right now. So if Allah can enter creation, as in come to the lowest part of the heaven, yeah. But to walk around on earth and use the bathroom, no.
So he can't enter on earth?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe God can do anything. And before you make a face or anything, when I say
I'm not making a face.
when I say anything, I'm saying God can do all things that are not contradictions.
Okay, why is him entering in earth the contradiction?
No, it's not. It's about him being a man entering earth. Like, for
Why
example, can your God make me his God and I throw him in hell forever? If he wanted to, hypothetically.
No, but God entering into creation isn't that.
No, but
That's
but Christians say God can do anything, right? Can your God make me his God and I throw him in hell?
No.
Because then obviously no, right? So he can't do anything, right?
Nah, that's so my the thing that I'm saying is not that God could do things that are like contradictions, but him entering into creation is not a contradiction, and I can show
So
you.
God becoming a man is not a contradiction.
No.
Come on, bro. You know what
So
it
here,
is.
hold on. I think this is the confusion. When we say that God became man, we don't believe that he ceased to be God. We don't believe that
No,
he
I know
stopped
that.
being
I
God.
get that.
Okay, so then there's absolutely no problem there.
So you don't think God looking like me and you? There's nothing wrong with that.
You understand that like Adam was made in Allah's image, right?
Don't worry about Allah, bro. I'm talking about.
I'm
your
saying
God.
so like yeah, you're okay, but when you're saying God, you have Allah in mind, and you're trying
Yeah.
to say exactly.
Cool,
So
cool. I want to see like where your head at, like where your head's at, bro. Like, so if imagine you was just with Jesus right now, he said, "Hold on, bro, I'm about to go to the bathroom." That doesn't like
well,
do
we don't
anything for
have
you?
we don't even have any scriptures that say that, bro.
No, he had to use the bathroom. He's a human. He had to eat, right? He had to relieve himself, right?
He didn't have to. He went 40 days, 40 nights without eating and drinking water.
All right. Regardless, you know what I mean, though. He had to take a shower. He had to sleep. He had to do right. He does human things. He's truly human, right?
Yeah,
So
but truly
that's the
human means
things.
that truly human means that he has a human nature. That's what it means.
But he does what humans do, though, right? For
I
example,
mean,
he was born.
yeah.
He ate, and I know where it says he went 40 days. I have no problem with that. But he had to eat from somewhere, from when he was born to 33 years old, right?
I mean, he did, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
there's
That's what
no
I'm saying.
problem with that.
I don't know, bro.
So when Allah's
we
hold
could agree to
on,
disagree.
no, when Allah is talking to Moses, right?
I know what you're gonna say. He's talking to the burning bush. I know all of these arguments.
No,
bro.
but he literally says that like this is from the one who is in the bush.
Yeah, so I know what you're gonna say. Was he on earth because he was in the bush?
Was he?
Yeah, bro. You can use that as you have to read it in context.
What was
Is
he?
Allah
He all right,
physically in the bush? No, but he's the one speaking
So,
through the bush. So of course he can say it in that way.
So he wasn't in the bush.
Well, I wouldn't say like Allah was like physically in the bush. Did he use the bush to relay a message? Yeah, I have no problem with that though.
Okay, so he's able to be on Earth then.
I just said he wasn't. I just said he wasn't in the bush though.
Okay, so when he says that though, then he just lying.
No, it's not about him lying. That's what I'm saying. You have to read the context.
What's the context that's going to fix this for you?
The context is he's just using the bush to relay a message to Moses.
Who's the one that's in the bush? Who's the one who's speaking from the bush?
Allah speaking from the bush.
Okay, the bush is on.
Allah's a tree. So is Allah a tree? No, obviously.
The bush is on. Okay, but the bush is on Earth, right?
Yeah. No, there's no problem. There's no problem with that. But what I'm saying is, that would mean Allah's a tree. We don't believe Allah's a tree or a bush. We don't believe Allah's a bush. Like for example, you have the same story in the Bible. Do you believe that your God is the bush?
No, it's not about that, but it's that God is actually on Earth interacting with his creation, and there's no problem with that.
Yeah. I don't have the problem with God interacting with his creation and he's using stuff on Earth. I have no problem with that. But when you say you're implying that, oh, he's speaking from the bush, so he's in the bush, that's basically saying is God the bush. No, he's not the bush.
No,
Just like you believe God's not the bush.
I don't think that you're understanding. So you're saying that I'm saying that if God is able to like come to creation in any sense, then it's not a problem with him becoming man. I'm showing you instances in which God comes to creation. You're saying that, Allah could come to heaven, right? Okay, is heaven made in the image of God?
No.
Okay, are humans made in the image of God?
Yeah.
Okay, so why would Allah be able to come to something which is the lowest heaven, which is not the image of God? So that's going to be lower than the image of God because it's not the image of God. Why would he be able to go to something that's lower than the image of God and not be able to go to something that is the image of God?
Yeah, because him coming on earth and walking around and living amongst us, this is just that
as the image of God, as the image of God.
Yeah.
So the best
not
of
like us.
That's okay.
He could be his image, but he's not us.
But the best, so he's able to enter into creation that is lower than the image of God. So he's able to enter into something that's lower than human, but he's not able to be human.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Yes.
How does that make any
Yes.
sense?
Yeah, because humans are flawed, right? We rely on God, right?
Does heaven rely on God?
Heaven relies on God for sure, but heaven
So
is not
how?
human. Heaven is a place we all want to
So
go,
you see how you're just
right or
drawing?
wrong.
You're just no,
Right or wrong.
no.
Do we all
You
want to
see
go to
how
heaven?
you see how you're just draw. Obviously, you don't. You see how you're just
Oh, now I
drawing.
don't.
You see how you're just drawing this arbitrary line, saying that
I'm not.
any.
See,
Yeah,
your
you are.
chat
You're
said God can do anything.
no,
Can God make me his God?
bro.
Everybody in the chat answer that.
Listen. You're drawing this arbitrary line, saying that God can be lower than human, but he
Who said
cannot
he's
be
lower than human? What are you talking about?
creation. Is
Yeah,
like
but who said he
heaven.
was lower than humans?
Heaven is not the image of God, right?
It's not the image of God. That doesn't
Okay.
mean it's lower than humans, bro. What are you talking about?
Are humans the image of God?
Yeah, from
Is
your
the image
perspective,
is the
yeah.
image of God higher than anything that's not the image of God?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what
Okay,
you're
so
saying.
he can enter into something that's lower than human, but can't be human.
Can't be human. That's a contradiction to his nature, bro. He's not even if I'm granting you that he can go to the lowest part of heaven, right? That doesn't mean he's heaven. You're saying he can be a man.
So look, when you say that
But
he
you know
enters,
it's just
when
I
you
said, if
say
God
that
was
he
still
hold
standing
on,
next to you and
when
you
you
say
say
you gotta
that
use the
he
bathroom, would you
enters,
really believe that's God?
when
No,
you
you wouldn't.
when you
Come on,
say
bro.
when you say that
Come
he
on.
enters into heaven, you're saying correctly that he doesn't stop being God. Although his presence can be seen and felt in heaven, that's fine. When we're saying that God became man, we don't say that he stopped being God.
I know that's what you
Okay,
believe.
but
I know,
however, he can
I
be
know that.
seen and felt as man. So you can properly talk about him as he is man, for he is truly man, just the same way that you could talk about Allah as though he is properly in heaven. And he has his
So
localized presence in heaven, though you believe that he is omnipresent,
he's not
because
in
he
heaven.
doesn't stop being.
God is not in heaven. What are you talking about? We don't
So
believe
when
that
he
God is in
enters
heaven.
into the lowest heaven, he's not
Yeah,
there.
that's just for a part of. We don't believe that he's always in heaven. I hope you know that.
Okay, so he changes his position from being outside of
Yeah,
heaven to being
yeah, he's
inside of
above the
heaven.
throne. We know that already.
Okay.
All Muslims know that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Did you not
I
know
need
that?
you to. Yes, I need you to listen.
I'm listening to you.
No, you're just being
And
combative.
he's not omnipresent either. We don't believe that. You said that. We said we believe that. We don't believe that.
Oh, God's not omnipresent
From our paradigm or your paradigm? Which one?
from your
You know what
paradigm.
omnipresent mean?
Yeah,
What does omnipresent mean?
that God is
He's
literally.
everywhere, right?
Yeah, that
All
His
right. So your
presence
God is
can
in
be
your
felt
pocket right now?
everywhere.
Is your God in your pocket?
Anywhere that God isn't, like it doesn't exist. You understand that, right?
Is your God in my toilet right now? Is he there?
You understand that anywhere that God isn't, it doesn't exist. You think you could go
Can you
somewhere?
answer that
Hold
question?
on.
Yes or no?
Here, I can answer the question with scripture.
No. I just want to know: is your God in my toilet?
God is everywhere, bro.
So he's in my toilet.
It's everywhere. You think you could go to the
Is
bathroom
he
and
in my
God's just
toilet?
not?
Yes or no? I just want
You
to know
think?
that.
Hold on. You think you could go to the
Yo,
bathroom
everybody
and
clip
God's
this
just
guy.
not there? You
Yo,
think?
bro,
Wait,
you
hold on,
believe
wait.
God is?
Wait, you think that you go to places where
Bro,
God just isn't
stop
there?
trying to avoid my question. Is
Hold
God in
on.
my
You
toilet? Yes
think,
or no?
bro? If your
Just yes or
does
no.
your
Don't be
toilet
ashamed. Don't be
exist?
ashamed,
Does your
bro. It's
toilet
okay.
exist?
It's okay.
Does your toilet
It's okay.
exist?
Is your God in my toilet?
Does
Yes or
your
no?
toilet exist?
Oh my God, he doesn't want to answer questions,
This
guys.
this dude's an idiot, bro.
All right, thank you. You can insult me. Ad hominem.
It's okay, bro. It's you know what's crazy is that that's not the first Muslim that I've heard say that. It's not the first.
So I don't get your like we don't believe Allah is everywhere.
You
You
don't
know that, right?
you don't believe that Allah is omnipresent.
No, we don't. We don't believe it's everywhere. That's not an evidence. There's nothing in Islam, and
You
there's nothing
understand?
extant in Islam
Okay, you
to believe that.
understand that him not being omnipresent is a limitation, right?
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
What's the argument for that?
So him being omnipresent is saying that his presence is infinite. There's no place in which he isn't, and especially because he grants existence to all things. So if you're saying that his presence is limited, where there are places where he isn't, that's the limitation that you're placing upon him.
No.
Yeah,
God's separate from creation.
God's
not inside
that's
creation.
literally, you asked me for the argument. That's the argument.
No, that's not an argument. That's just a claim. Well, our position is this. I'll just explain our position. We would
Here-
say that it's the opposite. Okay, so we would say God is separate from creation on the throne. You know, he rose above the throne. He's not inside of creation. He doesn't enter creation. You know, he's separate from creation.
Are you Sunni?
Yes, of course.
And God doesn't enter into creation.
Yeah, God does not enter creation.
Okay, even when you
the
say
verse you brought about him speaking to Musa alayhi salam, that does not mean he's inside creation. That's not a good argument.
you said what? No, when it says that he enters into the lowest heaven, is heaven created?
He doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that he enters into the lowest
He
heaven.
doesn't say he enters into the lowest heaven. No.
What does it say?
No, you're the one beginning the argument. You should know.
Okay, here I'll pull it up.
And likewise, also the same verse you brought as well about him talking to Musa alayhi salam. He doesn't say he was inside of the bush. It doesn't say that neither. I've got the verse pulled up, chapter 28, verse 30.
It says it a couple times.
Okay, show me where he was inside.
Yeah, we'll go one claim at a time, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. By the way, just to be clear, the argument against Christianity, that's what the brother was making. Okay, I don't know specifically what arguments. I'm simply responding to your responses about against Islam. So, yeah.
Allah waits till 1/3 of the first part of the night is over. He descends to the lowest heaven and says, "It is there. Is there any supplicator of forgiveness? Is there any?"
We agree. I accept this. It's not an issue. Go scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit more. Just you keep scrolling. Okay. Yeah.
So if you agree, you're saying that Allah goes from. Hold on. You're literally saying that Allah goes from being above the throne to descending to the lowest heaven, which is created. So he goes from above creation, above the throne, descending to the lowest heaven, which is created. So he enters into
creation. No, it doesn't say. It says, look, it says nazala ila as-sama'i dunya. So he descended to the lowest heaven. That doesn't mean that he entered inside of that heaven. You know, when we use the word, for example, in a different ayah, it means above. It doesn't mean inside.
So So he goes from being he's separate from creation, right?
Yeah. So he has.
And then on the third part of every night, right?
Yeah.
On 1/3 of the first part of every night, he goes from being he goes from being separate. He goes from being separate and above creation, and then he descends to being.
He's always on the arsh. He's always on the arsh. You know.
Okay. So then he descends into being in creation.
No, the hadith doesn't say that. We're very careful with our words. Look what it says. It says ila sama, towards the lowest heaven. It doesn't say inside of the lowest heaven.
He descends where?
To the lowest heaven, not inside.
Is the lowest heaven created?
The lowest heaven is definitely a creation of Allah.
Allah create space?
Okay, that's a good question. That's what I was saying, Jordan. His question's better than the ones you put forth. And we don't believe space and time is created.
You say you don't believe that space and time is created?
No, definitely not. No concepts. They're not created. Concepts are not created. Like truth, for example, is a concept. You wouldn't say truth is created, would you?
We believe that God is truth.
God's identical to truth?
Well, yeah.
Okay, no problem. So if I put the proposition, okay, by the way, this position that I'm saying is our position. You cannot argue against this, from an Islamic perspective, nor externally. But so if I ask you the proposition, so propositions can be true or false, correct?
Yeah.
So would God be identical to every true proposition?
Yeah, so when you say that, is God like identical to truth or every true proposition? All we're saying when we say that God is truth is that like that which we know as truth is going to be that which aligns with God. So when you're talking about truth, you're going to be talking about that which aligns with God, that which actually exists, that which is real, that which is good.
It wouldn't be unrestrictedly then the case, right?
Yeah, so like propositions you're talking about like contingent propositions that don't necessarily have to exist.
They still have a truth value though.
But it's going to be that which comports to reality or actuality, which is going to be that which aligns with God.
Yeah, that's fine.
So truth is going to be pretty much that which aligns with God, which is why we can properly say that
which aligns
God
with reality,
is truth.
Right?
Which is going to be
which you would say truth is that which aligns with reality.
Correct? Yeah, and reality. Appreciate the $2 gifted. And reality is going to be. Hold on.
$1.99.
No.
Yeah, and reality is going to be like that which is actual. God is purely actual. So when you're saying that that which comports with reality, you're saying that which comports with actuality. God is being purely actual, which is why you can say that God is
reality, right?
You said what?
God and reality can be equivocated on then, right? Since they're identical, according to you.
Well, when you're saying reality, you're saying like when you're talking about reality, you're talking about our reality, which is that which receives actualization, which is going to be actualized by God. You saying that space? So hold on. So you saying that space is uncreated, right?
What do you mean by space? Can you just explain what you mean by space, just to be clear?
The
I think time I think is more simpler to say it's uncreated because time is less vague, less ambiguous. But when you use the term space,
so then what do you mean by time?
well, time, so like the movements of things or the occurrences of things, you know.
So things are always changing?
What do you mean by things are always changing?
You said that time is the movement of things. That's change.
You can go into perpetual creation and how there was always things being created. We can go into that, you know, but that's like a really big topic, which would spend hours. I can do that, but we can go into how God's always created.
So I don't understand. So what is this space? But Allah exists outside of space, right?
What do you mean outside of space? Like, do you mean outside of space and time? Like he's not.
Okay, space and time. Hold on, wait. Space and time are eternal, right?
Religion just be making stuff up.
Yeah, so we would say God is temporal. Like he does act in time, but that's what we would say.
So God is temporal. Is he spatial?
100%. He acts. What do you mean by spatial?
That there's dimensions to him. There's a height,
like
a width.
Spatial extension. You mean?
You said spatial. Your mic is muffled.
I'm asking you. Okay, is this clearer?
Nah, it sounds exactly the same. But go ahead.
Really? Okay, can you in the comments hear me? I don't know what's going on. Okay, anyways, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I said, what do you mean? You mean like spatially extended insofar as like what?
What do you think space means?
I'm asking you. You're the one who's using the.
I just gave you that there's some dimension to him. There's height. There's width. There's depth. There's position.
Position, yeah, 100%.
Okay, so God is spatial and he's temporal.
He's spatial, yeah, 100%. Yes, he acts, and I'll give you an evidence just so you know, as a Christian, so you know that I'm speaking. You know, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, "Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa." So you know he was above the throne. You know, after the creations of the heavens. So yeah, he acts temporally, yeah, 100%.
I don't know
what actions are temporal.
Yeah, I'm talking about Allah and himself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he acts temporal.
So Allah, no, I'm not talking about his actions. I'm saying Allah in himself.
He is temporal, yes, of course. For him to act temporally, he has to be temporal, yes.
Okay, so if one is temporal and if one is spatial, then one is limited.
No, that presupposes that there are limitations to begin with, which would also presuppose that they created things which I don't accept.
Are you uncreated?
I am not uncreated, no. But I am limited. I'm not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You just say it presupposes created things.
No, I'm saying that it would only be a limitation if them things themselves are created.
No, that's not true.
That is okay. What's the arguments?
Yeah, so when we're talking about space,
just to be clear, temporal does not necessitate created. You would agree, right? Something can be temporal, have a beginning, but not be created.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, yeah.
You would agree, right? I mean, as Muslims, I don't know what your position if you're Orthodox or whatever, but for us,
yeah, I'm not Orthodox. I'm not Orthodox, but I know that there are some people who go hold to that position. Yeah.
Like, for example, people think it's contradictory, but like for example, God speaks, God acts, His actions are temporal.
Yeah, we wouldn't. I wouldn't hold to that. I would. I mean, God can act within creation, but His actions are going to be like from eternity.
Created, of course.
But you can have uncreated energies that are like that interact with creation.
Which
but
so we would see the same. Like
either way it goes. When you're talking about a thing that is temporal and is spatial, you're saying that there is a position that this being is, and then there's a position where this being is not, right? Because that's how you're able to define. Like pretty much
he has a had, so it limits from creation. It is separate from creation.
Okay, so when you're saying that this thing has a particular position, right? You're saying that there is a place in which he is not, which means that there are limits to the position in which he is in. That if you go That means that if you go to this place or this position, this being is not. And if that's the case, that is a limit on the thing that you're talking about.
If you're gonna use the word limit for it, yeah, then you can use that. That's not an issue. I don't care. If you see that as a deficiency according to your worldview, that's fine. I don't see it as a deficiency at
Okay, so now it gets into a question as to what we're even talking about when we say God. Because now we're talking about a being that is spatial. Now we're talking about a being that is temporal, right? That's not you're saying, yeah, of course. But
the issue, though. We're not really
so
showing
when
me.
you
You're just
say,
saying to, like, things
I
like
need
the
to know.
problems.
No, I need to know when you say God, what do you mean? Because I can logically prove that the God that exists is not temporal, not spatial, not any of those things.
Temporal, actually, actions by definition are temporal. So what do you mean? So how can you prove that? Go ahead, please give an argument.
Yeah. So
He's not temporal.
yeah. So okay, this is very easy. Like when Christians talk about God, we're talking about a purely actual actualizer. So a being that is purely actual that does not change. So if it were in
What do you mean by
space,
doesn't change? You mean doesn't like act in time? But that kind of begs the question, it seems.
what do you think begging the question is?
Yeah, because you're just saying, like, when you're talking about this, you think of a God that is unchanging. But if by unchanging you simply mean that he acts temporally, then that's just begging the question. You're not really, you need to prove that.
What do you
premise, 'cause you're
think
just
begging?
equivocating.
Hold on. What do you think begging the question is?
Yeah, so I'll just explain. So what you're doing is
No, just explain what you think
I'm
begging
telling
the
you,
question.
I'm telling
Okay,
you.
cool.
I'm telling you. So the end result of what you're doing or what you want to achieve, you're putting it at the beginning, okay? And your whole premise that you just provided kind of presupposes the ending, which is the whole thing we're debating, which I don't grant.
No, so here I can give an argument for the existence of God, and it's going to pretty much say that change exists, and change is the actualization of potential. Potential can't actualize. Hold on.
Potency to an extent, like active potency. What do you mean? There's no issue with this.
Yes, so active potency is not a problem. Passive potency is a problem. A being with no. Hold on. Okay, when you're saying that he's spatial, you're saying that he has passive potency.
What's the argument for that? Why should I accept that?
Because if Jesus Christ, my dog is farting. If a being were spatial, then it would be like it would have limitations upon it. If a being, you said what?
What's the argument for that?
I just gave you the argument for that. If you're spatial and you have a position, then that you're saying that there is a position in which this thing is not. That is the limit.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So you're equivalent. So you would use synonymously the term limit with not being somewhere, right? So God, for example, not being in creation you would attribute the term limit towards this thing, correct?
You're saying that God is eternally spatial. You're saying, hold on. You're saying that God is eternally spatial and eternally temporal. That's what you're saying.
There's no issue. Yes.
Okay, so that means prior to creation, your God is temporal and spatial.
Okay, again, look, this is the thing. You're saying prior to creation, but we can go into perpetual creation and how, all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was always creating and destroying things, and there was not a time in which there was not something created or destroyed. We can go into that,
Okay, so here, which also, okay, so this also then goes against your point because,
no, it doesn't.
Okay, you believe that Allah is one, right? The one that is eternal and other than all of creation, right?
But what do you mean by when we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one and eternal and separate to creation? If by eternal here you're positing that God acts eternally, we reject that. No, we say he acts temporally, he acts in time.
Bro, I'm not talking about his actions. I'm talking about his nature.
His actions are not.
I'm talking about his nature. I'm talking about what Allah is.
Just 1 second. We understand that, but the reason it's important to make this point is because we don't say the actions are separate to him. We say that sifat fi'aliyah, so actions are attributes, so that there's types of attributes they are. So they're not separate to his essence, One cannot exist without the other. Like his sifat, for example, of mercy and his that, his essence, these two things are not separate as you're trying to make them.
Bro, when you're saying, okay, do you know what a nature is?
Yes.
Okay, a nature is, I'm gonna just help you out. A nature is going to be the principle of action.
To help me out, man. I know.
Okay, a nature is going to be a principle of action. So when we're talking about Allah as he is, his actions are going to be entailed in that, because when we're talking about his nature,
principle of action, what do you mean by that?
a
In
nature
essence
is
of nature refers to the whatness of something, what something is. That's all.
okay. So when you're talking about what Allah is, right, in His nature, these actions are going to flow from a nature. The actions that one is going to be able to do and commit are going to be like based upon one's nature. Like it's not in a human's nature to take the action to fly because it doesn't have wings. So the principle of action is going to be based upon the nature, right? So when we're talking about nature, that's going to be the principle of act. It's where these actions are able to.
That's not correct.
It's where
Like,
these
okay, so for
actions are able to
example,
come from.
that's correct though. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, could give a human the ability to fly. Does that now mean his essence, his nature is different to anyone else? No, he still has the human nature. What do you mean he just has the ability to fly? What do you mean? That's
My
incorrect.
God.
I'm sorry, you're saying, oh my God, but you're not giving me an argument. You know, you're not
I'm trying to drag you through this conversation, and you're just
It's not
not.
dragging, bro. You're saying dragging, like you
You're
can use
not
these
there.
terms, you know, but no, you're saying I'm not there, but you cannot show me an issue scripturally. You cannot show me any evidence from my text that goes against what I'm saying.
I can show you and this is what I was showing you. Logically, we're saying that God is the purely actual being, right?
What do you mean by purely actual? That
He does not have any passive potency.
We agree with you.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean?
Okay, cool. If you agree with me, right?
You're not showing me how my position entails passive
If you have a God that is purely actual, meaning that he doesn't have any passive potency, it means that he doesn't have
passive potency.
Passive potency is the capacity to be changed, to be different.
By something, yeah, no problem. That's
Yes. Okay. So if this being is purely actual, it doesn't have any limits.
Wait, whoa! You're just sliding that time limit in there.
What do you think? What do you think a limitation is, bro?
Yeah. So the term limitation, as I'm gonna stick to you by the definition you put forth earlier when you agreed to when I reiterated it to you, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala simply not being in a certain place such as creation, that would serve as being a limit. So by that definition, there's no
Wait, can you say
problem.
that again?
Yeah, so the definition you gave, and I reiterated it to you, just to be clear when you agreed to it, was if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in a place, for example, in creation, then this would act as a limit. You would say he's limited. According to this definition, I agree that he would be, quote unquote, limited by what you're saying. However, that would not necessarily entail that he's changed by another. You would need to give an argument for that, which you haven't done, by the way, in the past 20 minutes. And I've got to go soon, so I'll give you some more.
If you have a God that is limited, right, in some way,
yeah, why would that entail that he can be changed by another external to him? That doesn't follow.
Yeah, so when you have a limit, it's implying that your God could be different. Your God could be in a place in which he's not right now, which is why.
By the way, just to be clear, did I misquote you? Because Jordan's saying that I misquoted you. Is that
No,
correct?
he's saying that you didn't explain what a limit was. But
I just told you we're using your definition. I'm happy to grant that. There's no issue.
You're granting that Allah is temporal. You're granting that Allah is spatial. You're granting that Allah is limited in the sense that he has a position. And there's places in which he's not, which means that your God could be. There's things that we could attribute to God where
we don't believe it's possible. We don't believe God can go into creation. What do you mean? I just told you.
I didn't. No one. Omar. No one is talking about going into creation right now.
Okay, so when you said possible, what do you mean possible for what?
That he could be at another position. He could be
such as
being bigger, higher above the throne.
He's at the highest. What do you mean? He's al arsh. He's separate.
Okay, then lower, lower above the throne. There's a place in which he is not, which imply it's just literally a limitation on his being. That's what being spatial is.
What you want to say, Elijah, which you're trying not to, because you know that if you do say this, then you're gonna fall into what I just accused you of a minute ago. What you want to say is that it's possible God could be in creation, which is a premise that I reject to begin with, which is why you're going around it and saying it could be higher, it could be lower.
Bro,
but the problem is,
I'm saying whatever you're talking, Omar, whatever you're talking about, it's not God. Okay?
How is it not? You're not giving arguments yet.
God is not spatial. He's not temporal.
You're not giving an argument for that. Of course it's temporal. What do you mean? He acts.
Of course
actions by definition are temporal.
Okay, so for a purely actualizer cannot change. It doesn't have any passive potency, right?
Yeah, sure. Passive
Okay.
potency is
Okay.
defined
There.
as
So the purely actual actualizer is immutable, right?
immutable insofar as it's a negation of passive potency. Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
That's
Whatever
your
change.
definition.
Okay. Time is the measurement of change or movement, as you've stated, right?
Okay, that's fine. Just to be clear, movement. I wouldn't agree that movement would fall into passive potency.
Okay. It's change, right? Movement is change.
Movement, sure. Yeah, that's fine. No
Okay.
problem. If change and using synonymously, we can agree on that.
Okay. But the purely actual actualizer is immutable, so it doesn't move.
Insofar as he cannot be changed by another external to him, is what you said. So
Okay.
yeah, we reject that.
Okay. Therefore, the purely actual actualizer is timeless. He doesn't exist in. He doesn't exist in whatever. Okay, look.
Bro just jumped the whole map. Bro jumped the whole mountain. Bro jumped the whole
Time
mountain.
is the
Why you
measure.
angry?
Time is the measurement of change, right?
Why are you so angry, bro? What?
No,
okay,
you're not. You're literally not following. Time is the measurement of change, right?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, time is the measurement of change.
You're using change and movement synonymously here, just to be clear, as you've said. So,
Okay, so time is the measurement of change. Whatever changes exist in time, since time is the measurement of change. But the purely actual actualizer is immutable. So it does not exist in, therefore it doesn't exist in time.
Look how you slide that in there. By immutable here, you
just said he was immutable.
One second. I expounded on that, what I meant by the terms me and you both agreed upon, which was immutable insofar as a negation of him being changed by something external to him. Now, him, for example, doing an action. Okay, let me use a specific example to maybe move the conversation further.
Corey, you could come up. Corey, you could come up.
Baked.
Do you believe the same thing? You believe that God is
That wasn't even, bro. That wasn't even nice. Like that was like, bro, he messed you up, man. Wait, repeat your question.
hold on, wait. He messed me up by saying that his God is spatial, temporal. That's how he messed me up by saying that his God and mutable.
What is immutability in this case? What's the definition of immutability?
What is it? The inability to change. It's not mutable.
Depends what type of change we're speaking about in this instance. If we're speaking about essential change, yes. If we're speaking about non-essential change, no.
If we're speaking about essential change, yes, what?
Yeah, my God cannot change essentially.
Then he can't exist in time.
How does that follow?
Time is the measurement of change.
$2.
Hold on.
Newton's first law of motion doesn't require action.
Okay, time is the measurement of change, right?
Change, motion, I mean, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, time is the measurement of change. So whatever changes exist in time, since time is the measure of change. Then you're saying that your God is temporal. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But the purely actual actualizer is immutable. It doesn't change. Now, whatever.
What does it mean to be purely actual?
It means that you don't have any passive potency. It means that you don't change.
Those two things aren't synonymous. Something can contain passive potency and change, and something can also contain active potency and change as well.
Yes. So a purely actual actualizer is purely actual. So it doesn't have potential. So we're not talking about
active potency is potential.
Active potency is the capacity to change other things. Passive potency.
Wait, what? Active potency is the capacity to change other things?
Yes.
But where'd you grab that from?
Literally, you could grab that from the ABCs of scholastic philosophy.
No, if you open up Scholastic Metaphysics by Edward Feser, active potency is always having the ability to actualize a particular thing. That's what active potency is, according to Edward Feser, who's a Christian.
What do you think? What do you think actualize another thing means? What do you think that is?
Actualize another thing. So to bring into existence something external from yourself.
To bring in, that's not what active potency doesn't.
That's not what. I agree. That's not what active potency is. I agree with you. That's why I laughed when you said it like that.
No, Bro, so active potency is just the ability to change something else.
That's false. That's false.
Okay. Here, do you
Active
wanna
potency, according
pull
to
up your
Edward Feezer?
you
Oh,
wanna
wait,
pull
hold
up
on.
your
I'll
source?
just grab my iPad. Yeah. I'll just bring up
Go
my iPad.
ahead.
We can look at what Edward Feezer says about active potency.
Okay. I could just pull up the ABCs of scholastic philosophy. It's okay.
The ABCs, brother.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just get up Ed Feezer, man. Big ups to Ed Feezer. Okay, I already have it up. Hold on.
Oh my god, man. Not 327. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I have it up.
Yeah, me too. You can show yours first.
Alright, perfect. This is Scholastic Metaphysics by Edward Feezer. And he speaks about active potency. This is page 40.
You can show it on the screen.
Yeah, I have it up.
Thank
So
you.
you can pass me big screen. I got you. So he talks about pure active potency or power unmixed with any passive potency or potential is just pure actuality, and identified by the scholastics with God. In everything other than God, active potency is mixed with passive potency. This difference is marked by the scholastic distinction between uncreated active potency and creative active potency. All right, and then he goes on to talk about passive potency. I'm not seeing where he's making the claim that active potency is about changing things extrinsically.
An active potency is a power. A passive potency is potentiality in the strict sense.
And the definition that I gave you for active potency
That's-
was having the power to actualize a particular thing at every single point in
What
time.
do you oh my god, what do you think I said active potency is?
You said that active potency is the ability to change something other than yourself. That's what you said.
Oh my god. Okay, what do you think change is?
Change? Going from one state to another.
So change is the actualization of potential. So when you're
Yep.
okay, so when you're talking about the active potency or active
Yep.
potential is the capacity to actualize something else, you're saying that it's the capacity to change something else. That's what it is.
No, I'm saying that it's the actual.
Oh my god.
The capacity isn't extrinsic from the being that possesses the potency.
So
that's
look,
the issue.
Here,
So let me ask you this:
here,
is
here, here,
active
here,
potency?
Here,
Wait,
here.
hold on, wait. No, let me ask the question.
I'll just show you. This is literally acting potency and the ABCs of scholastic philosophy. I'll zoom in as much as I can here, right? So you have divisions of potency, objective and subjective potency. We don't really need to get into that. But as a rule, potency means subjective potency. This is the capacity of an existent being to give or receive an act. Thus, fire has the capacity to heat water. That's active potency. Water has the capacity to be heated.
Beautiful.
That's
So the
passive
water-
potency.
Beautiful. So hold on. Fire actively possesses the potential to do something intrinsic to itself, correct? So it
has-
intrinsically possesses the ability to heat to heat water, correct?
Cor, how old are you?
Old enough, man. I'm over the age of 18.
I don't know, because it doesn't seem like you're all the way there.
No, bud. The text that you just quoted refuted you. So fire, let me ask you this. Does fire intrinsically possess the potential to heat water? Yes or no?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, Cora.
Wait, hold on. No, you misdefined active potency.
No, I didn't.
Beautiful. No, because you said active potency is the ability to change something outside of yourself. I'm saying no, active potency is intrinsically possessing the potential to actualize something at every single point.
First of all, you never said those words. You never said those.
Everybody in the comments can vouch. Everybody in the comments can vouch. Wait, so just
But you
as the
never
text
said
that
those
you just
words
quoted-
once.
Wait, no,
What are you
no, I
talking
did state
about?
that. What the hell are you talking about? Everybody heard me define active potency.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Wait, I swear to God I did. That's how
No,
you define
you-
active potency.
No, you-
Intrinsically
No.
possessing. Wait, hold on. Active potency is intrinsically possessing the ability to actualize something at every single point in time. That's
Okay,
active potency.
can you get to your point, please?
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Why am I not Christian?
No, oh my God, we're talking about your God being temporal and spatial, and
Yes.
why? Okay, and your God being temporal and spatial, literally, like that's not God. That's not what we're talking
What's the
about with
problem in
God.
that?
Your God can't be both immutable and non-temporal.
What is immutability in this case? It's the
It does not change. It doesn't change.
Okay, and I told you that change in this instance, it depends what form of change we're speaking about. If we're speaking about essential change, yes, I agree. God is immutable in this instance. But if we're speaking about all types of change,
Is
the answer
God
is no.
is God's
because God can
essence
change
temporal?
non-essentially.
Is God's essence temporal?
What does it even mean for an essence to be temporal? What the heck?
Your essence is
That's
composed of
gibberish to me.
your essence is composed of rationality and animality. Right? Your soul and your body are temporal. They exist within time.
Okay.
Does that sound like gibberish to you?
Okay. So we're
Okay,
talking
so
about the
does
specific
God's
attributes.
essence
So
does
we're
God
talking about the specific attributes.
is
in this
God's
instance, correct?
essence temporal? Is what God is? Is he temporal?
Okay, beautiful. So essence in this instance, we're defining essence as a set of essential properties, correct? The same way that you brought into the example animality and rationality or body and soul and whatnot. So we're speaking about the essential
Embarrassing.
properties.
This is
Now,
embarrassing.
if your question is temporal in the sense that it can go from one state to another, or it can be measured in terms of it can go from, yeah, I believe that God's attributes can go from potentiality to actuality. Yes.
Okay, so his essential attribute, because you just said essence is the essential attributes, right?
No, the set of essential attributes.
Okay.
If you're talking about the entirety of the set
Oh, so
changing,
okay, so
that's different. But
Okay,
if we're
all right,
speaking about
okay. Are you
particular
saying that there?
attributes-
Okay, so now are you saying that there's certain parts of Allah that are temporal, and there's other
Not
parts of Allah?
parts. There are
So
particular
now, what are these attributes?
Beautiful. They're descriptors of the essence. But the attributes in this instance, for example, God's love can go from potential to actual.
So it changes. Is God's love essential to him?
God's capacity to love, yes. The volitional attribute, meaning the act, I mean, not necessarily.
So God's
No
not
one can
necessary.
choose to love.
God's not necessarily loving.
God necessarily possesses the capacity to love, but God doesn't need to love everything at every single point in time.
Does
It's
say
as simple as that.
Okay, hold on.
Is that not simple enough
God,
for you?
no. So God is not always actually loving.
No. God, right now, I believe that God is loving
You
something.
say, are
God
you saying?
doesn't
Hold on. You're
necessarily-
saying right now.
God doesn't wait,
You're
hold on.
saying
God
right
doesn't
now, like there's
necessarily
some.
need to wait. Hold on. God doesn't necessarily need to be actualizing this attribute at every single point in time.
So he doesn't have to always actually be loving.
Actually, no.
Okay, what
But he
are
always
attributes? Hold on.
possesses-
What are attributes that are essential to Allah? Like, is goodness essential to Allah? Like, does
Goodness,
he
sure.
always have to be good?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's not something that goes from a potency to act.
It would have to. I don't. Ooh,
No. There
I'm
are certain
tempted.
properties. There are certain properties that are volitional, and there are in better terminology would be Cambridge in this instance. And there are certain attributes.
What's a
that are
Cambridge
not.
change?
What is a Cambridge change? A relational change.
What does
a
that
change
mean?
that doesn't. Okay. So, for example, if I say that something is Cambridge, I can say that this person in front of me, they go from the state of standing to the state of jumping. It doesn't change anything. To me, my essence has nothing to do with me.
Oh, here you could go to. Oh yeah, the quote that you pulled up for active potency,
Yep.
literally right above it, it says exactly what I said active potency is.
Where's all that, man?
You said what?
Active potency. Let's go ahead and wait. Hold on. My quote says what you said. My quote says, active potency is the capacity to bring around an effect. That is the definition I gave, not the definition you gave. I
that's not.
defined active potency as the capacity to bring around about an
You're
effect.
actually nuts,
You
Cora.
defined active potency Wait, hold on. And
What did I
you're right,
define
what you
active
defined-
potency as?
You defined active potency is the ability to change another. I defined active potency as the capacity to bring something into existence or to actualize something. So the capacity in this instance is the active potency.
Oh my God, you're
So
just
you got baked by the quote that I just brought.
you're all over the place. You have no idea what's going on.
You're getting no. I'm not all over the place. You're not tracking. That's what's happening.
No, I am, and that's why I'm able to see that you don't know what's going on, Cora. So
No,
look,
brother, listen, you don't know left from right right now.
Cora, when you say that God is essentially temporal, because I'm not going to bite on the other thing, right?
What does
when you say
essentially
that
temporal mean?
His essence is temporal.
Bro, I didn't even commit myself to that. I said that particular attributes can go from potential to actual.
If you have
but I didn't say
particular,
the
okay.
essence. Wait, but hold on, the essence is the entire set of the essential properties.
Okay.
I don't believe that all of the attributes are capable from going from potential to actual.
Just some of them.
There are volitional attributes, and there are attributes that do not go from
Are the attributes
potency to
other than his essence?
No, but they're not identical to his essence either.
Okay, if you have these things that are not identical to the essence, right? And they are and you're saying that they're not other than the essence. Okay. So these things compose the essence.
No, that doesn't follow.
Okay. So you're saying
What we affirm in this instance is a minor real distinction, which means that they're really distinct from the essence, but this doesn't necessarily entail separation, and this doesn't necessarily entail part-whole relations either. Because the only way that you can assert. Wait, hold on, because if you've read up on mereology and what academia and literature say. Wait, hold on. So let me ask you this. Okay, beautiful. So according to any piece of literature about mereology, do they say that real distinctions on their own make something apart?
So a real distinction, especially that isn't relational, is going to entail either some separation or composition. Yes.
That doesn't follow. No piece of literature precedes you in that. However, what literature does actually say about mereology is that real distinctions on their own don't entail composition. Rather, they posit other things, such as ontological priority, which is what I was going to talk to you about in a second.
Oh my God. So do you think that? Oh my God. Do you think that Allah's attributes are like ontologically prior?
No, I don't believe they're ontologically prior. I believe that they're counterfactually dependent.
So the study of mereology itself is the study
of true parts.
Okay, so when you're talking about mereology and the study of parts and wholes, the relations
true parts.
Okay.
Specifically.
So you're saying that these things, they are really distinct from one another, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're posing a minor real distinction.
Yeah.
Which to you means what?
A distinction within reality that does not necessarily entail separation in this instance.
Okay, so these things, they aren't separate from the essence, right?
Which means they are incapable of being detached from the essence. So not only are they not separate, they cannot be separated.
Okay, a thing not being separated doesn't mean that it's not composed.
Okay, yeah, that's why I posited other criterias. Because the other criterias that people who actually study mereology, unlike you, posit are things such as ontological priority. And the attributes of Allah are not ontologically prior to his essence, therefore they cannot be parts of the essence. Thank you very much. So again, can you cite a piece of literature
you think that
states
parts
real distinctions?
Oh
hold
my
on, just
gosh.
bring me one person within academia that says that real distinctions on their own entail composition, and then I can go ahead and concede the argument.
Okay,
Just
so
bring me one person.
Okay, so
Real
do you know what
distinctions solely.
Yeah, so do you know what a part is?
Yes.
Okay, what's a part to you?
Okay, in order for something to be a part, it must be really distinct from the other parts, really distinct from the whole, and they must be ontologically prior to the whole in this instance in order to compose the whole.
Where do you get this? Okay, yeah. Okay, so
yeah.
Yeah, so when you're saying,
Beautiful.
Okay, cool.
You agree
so
with
when
those,
you're,
correct?
Yeah, that's fine. That's a fine definition.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
just to clarify for everybody in here, the three criteria that I gave you are they are really distinct from one another, they are really distinct from the whole, and they're ontologically prior to the whole. You agree to this definition? So Allah's attributes, they are really distinct from each other. They are really distinct from the whole, but they are not ontologically prior, which means by the definition that you just granted to me, they are not parts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so when you're saying that they're not ontologically prior, right? You're saying that these parts don't come before the essence, right? That's all you okay. But this essence is composed of these attributes.
That's begging the question.
Okay, this is the problem with what you're saying. So you're saying that
Using
these
the terminology composed is you already presuppose.
Okay, so a part is going to refer to these things that are not identical to one another. There's no relational distinction between these two things, right? And it's going to have some type of relation to the whole. For you, the whole is going to be the essence, but you're saying that there's no ontological.
That's the question as well.
But I'm literally restating what you're saying. You're saying
No,
that
that's
there's no
false.
ontological. You're saying it's false to what you're saying. I'm literally just repeating what you're saying.
You're begging the question and you're representing it as if I conceded composition when that's exactly what I negated. So what I stated is that the attributes are distinct from each other, correct? They are distinct from the essence, all right? But they are not ontologically prior to the essence, which means it does not fulfill the criterias for being a whole.
Okay,
the
so
first thing that came
the
out
thing
of
that
your
you're
mouth,
so you have to be able to sit here and explain how these things are distinct without entailing composition. You can't say
no. You need to wait. Hold on. Yes, I just proved it to you.
Okay,
so based on the definition that I posited and you agreed to, they do not fulfill the criterias of being a whole.
No, so
therefore, they are not
your
parts.
definition.
Parts.
No, your definition of part is fine. You have to then substantiate how these things are not ontologically prior. How these so your definition of part is fine. There's no problem with that.
Perfect. Then I'll display that the attributes are not ontologically prior.
Go ahead.
Within the Athari Creed, we believe that attributes are descriptors of the essence. The descriptors of the essence cannot exist prior to the essence. Therefore, the attributes are not ontologically prior to the whole. Thank you very much.
But the essence is the whole.
You're begging the question.
Bro, you're saying that the attributes are descriptors of the essence.
Yes. And then the attributes being descriptors of the essence necessarily imply. Wait, hold on. The attributes being descriptors of the essence necessarily implies that the essence exists in order for something to be described by the attributes, which means that the attributes cannot exist prior to the essence because the attributes are what is describing the essence.
The cap, the plastic, and the paper are attributes of the water bottle. Oh, but the attributes, the descriptors of this water bottle cannot exist prior to the water bottle.
No, the materials aren't descriptors of the water bottle.
Do you understand that this is what you're saying, right? Hold on, you understand that that's exactly what you're saying.
That's disanalogous.
That's exactly. You're saying that the attribute. Hold on. You're saying that the attributes. You're saying that the attributes are descriptors. You're saying that the attributes are descriptors of the essence of just what this thing is. Oh, but these attributes can't exist prior to the essence because the essence is the thing that we're talking about. Oh, the plastic, the paper, and the. Hold on.
You're misrepresenting my argument. That's why I'm cutting you off. You're misrepresenting.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. So the reason why this is not analogous is you agree that things such as plastic, water, and paper exist prior to the water bottle. Things such as omnipotence and omniscience and omnibenevolence do not exist prior to the essence of God. So it's disanalogous. Unless you can bring me an instance in which omnipotence exists prior to the essence of God, which was being described.
You understand that this is what you have to prove, right? You understand that you're just saying that. No, you just stated that. So I'm rejecting premise 2, where you're saying that the descriptors can't exist prior.
Okay, and I just proved to you, the issue is.
So prove that the descriptors can't exist prior.
Okay, beautiful. So I'll give you an example of a descriptor, which is being all-knowing, i.e. omnipotence. So omnipotence is a descriptor of the essence in this instance. Omnipotence cannot exist without the essence, all right? So there is a necessary counterfactual dependence between the attribute, which is omnipotence, and the essence in this instance. Therefore, the attributes are not ontologically prior to the essence because the essence counterfactually depends upon the attribute counterfactually depends upon the essence to exist. And the reason as to why your example with the water bottle
What do you think a what do you think a
because-
counterfactual dependence is?
Okay, if A necessarily implies B and B necessarily implies A, that is a counterfactual dependence relation.
Oh my god.
You're so lost, it's not
Oh
even
my
funny.
god. So
You're
when
so
you're
lost,
when
it's
you're
not even
saying
funny.
when you're saying that the essence is counterfactually dependent upon the attributes, right? That's your claim. What's your argument that you just gave literally does not defeat the fact that these things, one, they're not the same thing, and two, you're already presupposing some ontological priority, saying that
Wait, what's
either
the error in my reason?
okay, when you're saying that the attributes, right, which are descriptors of the essence,
Yes.
right, that they counterfactually, or the essence counterfactually depends upon the attributes, or vice versa, whichever one you said, right? These things of which they depend upon one another. One, you're saying that the essence of God
Wait,
is
no,
dependent.
counterfactual dependency isn't a real dependence relation, by the way, within philosophy, just to clarify.
It's okay. Either way it goes, you're saying that these things which are not identical, you're saying that they don't exist apart from the essence, right? Okay, but these things which are not identical are the things that make up the essence.
That's again begging the question, because using the terminology making up the essence is presupposing
That's what it
causal relations in
is.
this instance.
That's what a
Wait,
part
okay, that's
is.
begging the question.
That's what a
begging the
part
question.
is. That's what a part
you already
is.
conceded that that's not what a part is.
No.
You conceded
What
to
do
my
you-
definition, which
You're-
necessarily implies ontological
Do you understand?
priority.
You have no idea what's going on. Do you understand that when you
You're so
defined,
lost.
do you
You're so
understand,
lost.
Cora, you understand that when you defined part, I'm agreeing with your definition of part. Now, your job is to prove that there is no ontological dependence. But in the things that you're
No, I didn't say ontological dependence. I said ontological priority.
priority, my fault.
You have such a
Ontological
time issue.
ontological priority. That's my fault. Your job is to prove that there's no ontological priority. You're giving an argument that is presupposing ontological priority.
No, I didn't. The
Oh my
argument in this
God.
instance. Wait, hold on, beautiful. Me positing counterfactual dependency is a direct negation of ontological priority. Maybe this is a tracking issue on your end. Maybe I have to show you the definition of counterfactual dependency so you can understand what's going on. So when I posit counterfactual dependency between the attributes and the essence, that is me directly negating ontological priority of the attributes to the essence.
Is the essence without the attributes?
But essence is a set of essential properties,
Oh,
so absolutely not.
So in order for the essence to be the essence, if I were to take away some set of essential properties, Allah would not be what Allah is. Like if I took away his omnipotence, right?
Of course not.
Okay, but his omnipotence is not identical to his omniscience, right?
No.
Okay, so
And by
these
the way,
things.
God is not omnipotent, just to clarify. A better example I would give would be like omniscience and, I don't know, like power in this instance, being all-knowing and being the most powerful.
So God's spatial, he's temporal, he's mutable, and he's not omnipotent.
Okay, so no, God is not omnipotent, he's omniscient. I believe that God is spatio-temporal, and I also believe that God is immutable if what you mean by immutability in this case is essential change, or being changed by another.
You got me.
And again,
You
you've
got
yet
me.
to prove, and
You got me.
I got you there.
You got me. Woo! You got me. That God crazy. Woo! You got me.
You got baked though.
Man, hey,
got baked, though. You got baked, though.
Baked me,
You got
man.
baked.
Yep, you got a God that's spatial, temporal, changes, and not omnipotent. You got me.
You got baked.
You got me. Go ahead.
You got baked.
Go ahead. Take that
It's
one.
okay, but my God isn't an
Take that one.
That my God isn't omnipotent. My God.
Take that one. Hey, all the Muslims in here, I just want y'all to remember, your God is spatial, so he limited. He temporal. He changes. He's mutable, and he not all powerful. Go ahead, y'all got it. Y'all got it, bro. We're not even talking about God no more. What are we talking about? We're not even talking about God. What do I need to defeat? Yeah, I got her to concede that she just believe in a created being. That's just a created dude. Everything that I just listed about Allah, that's me. I'm spatial, I'm temporal, I'm mutable, and I'm not omnipotent. That's literally me. That's me. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is y'all goat? Spatial, temporal, mutable, not omnipotent. Elijah. That's your dog. That's your dog. I start talking about Allah. You be like, you talking about Allah, you talking about Elijah. That's them. I want every single Muslim to remember that. Now it makes sense. So they be like, God ain't got the power to become man. It makes sense. He not all powerful. That was my ignorance. I was thinking that they believed in an all powerful God. Nah, that was on me. My fault. They saying damage control. Like I gotta control some. That's sad, man. So that was two. Some of y'all best Muslims. Omar come up here saying crazy things about God. Cora said, "Hey, I'm finna top what he got going on." Watch what I say about God. All right, go ahead, bro. Y'all got it. And the Muslims, they don't even know what's going on. Don't even know what's going on. Hold on. As a matter of fact, listen, you wasn't low enough. So, just for the people in here to understand, when you say that God is temporal, time is going to be the measurement of change, of movement, right? So whatever exists in time changes. But God does not change, therefore he does not exist in time. When you say that God is temporal, right? That it's literally a contradiction, right? Because the purely actual actualizer can't exist in time. And you can literally just prove that. That's the argument for it. Time is the measurement of change. Whatever changes exist in time. But the purely actual actualizer does not exist, does not change, or does not, does not change, therefore he does not exist in time. It's literally, that's very simple, very easy. So for her to say that her God is temporal, she's literally saying that her God is not God. Congrats, she won. That's what she was trying to get around to. Her God being spatial implies limitations. Her God being mutable implies that it's not God, because the purely actual actualizer cannot change. Being mutable means that you do change, but the purely actual actualizer does not change. Therefore, the purely actual actualizer is immutable. Their God isn't immutable. It's mutable. So it's not God. Every single thing that she said just proves that her God is not God, and you guys think that she could.
Maybe Muhammad was a prophet cause he was right about the half-brain part.
That's just sad. That's sad. God, dog, I got so many requests.
God is real. God is real.
Hey, you're way too young. Hello?
Yo, Elijah. Yeah, I was gonna debate you on composition, but since Cora brought that, let me ask another question. Do you believe that pure act is gonna be necessary? Yes or no?
That God being purely actual?
Yeah, is that necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you say that that's parasitical like act and potency semantics?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say act and potency semantics also gonna be necessary?
Well, I say that act and potency semantics are going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by necessary? That it has to exist in every single possible world?
Yeah, Aristotelian potential, would that be necessary?
I don't know which other way you would explain things.
Do you not know what Aristotelian potential is?
No, I do. I said I don't know what other way you would explain things. I don't know if like act and potency.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If I make the claim that act and potency is going to be inflated, I would then concede that act and potency is going to be not necessary anymore.
I couldn't understand what you said. You like muffled.
Yeah. If act and potency is going to be inflating, would that still be necessary?
Inflating?
Yeah, would it be inflating? If it's inflating, would you say it's necessary?
What do you mean inflating?
Yeah, if it introduces an unnecessary type.
What's unnecessary about it?
No, I'm just asking if it's gonna be inflating, would you then concede that?
You're saying that if it introduces something that is unnecessary, then would it be necessary?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it wouldn't be necessary for you to hold to it.
Okay, so if deflation is about change as true, would you then concede that?
But I can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, if deflationism about change is true, would act and potency be false?
What?
If deflationism about change is true, would act
If deflation isn't about change is true?
Oh my god. Deflationism about change. If that's true, would acting potency be false?
If deflation isn't about change is true. Is
Bro,
that
are
what
you
you're
the
saying?
only yo?
I genuinely I can't understand what you're saying. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Okay, listen. If deflationism about change
Oh,
is true,
deflationism.
yes, if
Oh,
that's
okay.
true about change, would acting potency semantics be false? Given the fact that the type is going to be unnecessary.
If deflationism is true, when you say deflationism, what do you mean? Like just
Deflation.
change is just going to be a thing that is one way at T1 and another way at T2?
Yeah, it's going to be two states of affairs being distinct. If that's true, would acting potency be false?
No.
It wouldn't?
No.
Okay, how is that the case?
Because acting potency can say that like change is going to be a thing that is one way at T1 and another way at T2. What acting potency is going to be is pretty much saying how or why one thing is one way at T1 and one way at T2. All a deflationist account of change is just trying to just say that, like things is different for real. But acting potency is saying that this is the reason as to why things are different.
No, acting potency introduces potency realism. If potency realism isn't true, then acting potency is going to be false.
Yeah, but potency realism is true.
Okay, what's the argument for that?
That like your alternatives are going to be either change doesn't exist or things are always changing. So in regards to change, right? It's either things go from non-being to being, with like, and that doesn't make any sense because that thing like you have a whole bunch of stuff that's just being created out of nothing. When a pot of hot water goes from like being cold to being hot, you're saying that this is a completely new object that has been sprung into being when you're saying that this thing has changed because there's no potency in the thing for it to be a different way. So now when you're talking about a hot bottle of water or pot of water, you're talking about a completely different object. So either one, that's going to be one position that you can hold to, which is the position that one of the old philosophers held to, which is why Aristotle comes up with potency, or you can have that like change just doesn't exist, it's an illusion. Both of those.
You believe that if you deny potency be real, change is just going to be like illusory?
I think that the other two options that you have is in regards to explaining change. So you can say change exists, like a deflationist account of change, but you're not explaining anything. You're just saying things is different for real, but you're not explaining anything.
Yeah, but that's all, you don't.
Okay,
that's all that's needed.
No, so that's not all that's needed.
Wait, one second. What's gonna be the contradiction if I say that change is gonna be a real feature and potency not gonna be real? What just collapsed? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, so when you're saying, so now when I ask you, okay, how does this happen? Like, how does anything change, or why does anything change? Right? Your answer is just going to be, like either we don't know. It's just either it's just a brute fact or whatever the case may be. Now, when you're sitting here and people were trying to articulate what change is, there were different positions. There were some that believed that things came from nothing. But then if that's the case, right, and things go from non-being to being, there's a lot of different problems that arise from that. And then you had other people, I think like Heraclitus, who believed that everything was always in flux, right? Now, both of these positions are ridiculous, which is why there's this middle ground of potency and act, that there is this capacity in things that it explains the capacity for it to be a different way. Other than that, like the other thing is going to be that like you just have these completely new objects that are arising from non-being.
Yeah, given presentism, then previous objects not going to exist anymore anyway.
You said given presentism?
But you haven't given me the contradiction yet. What's going to collapse in my system if I say that potency is not going to be real, right? Potency can be described with language.
I don't think that you have to provide a contradiction for every single thing. I'm saying that it doesn't correspond with like reality though. Like there is this feature in things that explains the reason as to why it's one way at T1 and another way at T2. The way in which we explain what that thing is potency. A thing's potency is going to be a thing's potency is going to be an attribute of its nature. right? So it's going to be this thing that actually exists in the thing itself.
Yeah, I'm asking, why does that have to be onto the committee? Why can't it just be described with language?
Because if you're saying that it's just a aspect of language, right? And you're saying that when we're talking about the thing itself, like here, I'll just use a water bottle for example. When we're talking about the thing itself, we're actually trying to explain the thing that is happening to the object itself. So it's not just a matter of the language that we're using, but we're saying that there is this thing that we're talking about that does go from one way at T1 and does go to another way at become another way at T2. Now we need to explain what's happening to the thing. So this isn't just a semantic dispute, but we're actually trying to explain that which is happening at a metaphysical level to this thing.
Yeah, I can grant that the thing gets acted upon. That's fine, but the notion of potential doesn't need to be committing. That's what I'm arguing for. I'm asking you,
No,
why
so-
does that have to be committing? Because I mean, all you're telling me is that a thing has to be acted upon to change.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying then?
That I mean that is true. That is true. But I'm saying that when you're talking about change, right? You're going to come down to two views as to like, okay, what is the reason that this object is different from it was before? Now, what Aristotelian metaphysics is going to say is that, oh, there is a real capacity that lies in this thing that can explain why it goes from one way at T1 and T2. Now, if you remove potency from this thing and say that potency doesn't actually exist, the thing that goes from one way from T1 at T2, now you dwindle down the explanations and you're saying either this thing goes from being one way at T1 and a different object, like this thing, there's no thing that explains as to why it's one way at T1 and one way at T2. There's nothing in it that there's no capacity for this thing to be different. So which is why people were arguing, like Parmenides, for example, was arguing that everything just comes from non-being. Things go from not existing. So like say for instance, this water bottle is partially full, right? I would say that it has the potential to be empty. Now, if this water bottle was empty at T2, there's no capacity in this water bottle to be empty. There's no potential here. So when it's empty, it's just another object that is sprung into existence from non-being, from non-existence. Because there's nothing in it that says that this thing is able to go from being partially full to being empty. There's nothing in this object itself that's able to do that. So the new object that you'll see when this thing is empty is just a new object. It's sprung out from non-existence, which is what they were saying. But that's absurd. So
How is that absurd? Why can't you just say that that's created? That new thing.
that this one, if I drink this water bottle, this is a new object that is created.
No, the change is going to be created. Yeah, okay, why can't you just say that?
There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, such that the previous, such that the prior, that which is created from, is going to cease to exist. What's the issue with that?
So the water bottle doesn't exist anymore?
One second. That to me, I never said that. That to me sounds more coherent than me saying there's an unrealized potential, which in its potential in itself is going to be onto committing. Therefore, the change is going to be able to occur. That just sounds nonsense. When you can just describe change with language and saying that the new upcoming state of affairs is just going to be created.
What do you mean by created? Like God's just so when you're saying that this thing is created, you're saying that like one, you're no longer talking about the same object. So there is no T1 like object at T1 and object at T2. Right? There's no identity.
When a thing
so
is
here you're okay when you're saying okay cool, here I'll grant you this thing is created, right, from non-existence. Like God creates this thing out of nothing, right? There's no identity over time now because the thing like the house no longer have any water, right? This is a completely new object. The thing that we were talking about before does not exist. This is a completely new object. So
yeah, the thing you're talking about before doesn't have to.
Okay.
Anyway,
Cool. So you understand?
Wait, one second. Given presences, the previous object doesn't have to exist anyways.
Okay, so you understand that what you're saying now is just that change does not exist.
Huh?
What? Okay, when you're saying that the previous object ceases to exist and the new object exists. Well, one, there's no identity over time because we're talking about different objects, and this thing, right, never changed. There's no change because it's just a new object that has appeared from nothing.
No, there is change. Given the two states of affairs being different, there's gonna be change. That's how deflation works.
Okay, so you're saying that there's
All
things.
that's required for change is going to be two temporal states of affairs that's distinct. That's all that's required.
Okay.
You don't need acupuncture semantics.
Two.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
arguing.
When you're saying that two temporal state of affairs, right? You're saying that there is a thing that goes from one way at T1 and another way at T2.
Yeah, such that the previous stops existing.
Okay, but you're still talking about the same thing.
I'm talking. Yeah, the state of affairs is gonna change. But I don't know. But
Do you understand that that's the? Do you understand that that's the problem, right?
No. But do you no what no? But
Because the thing that you're talking, hold on, the thing that you're talking about, hold on, the thing, wait, the thing that you're talking about, which is the state of affairs, right? Whatever thing you're talking about, whatever object you're talking about that goes from one way at T1 and another way at T2, you're saying that it's a completely different object that has now sprung into existence. So you're not talking about the same thing that has changed. Rather, you're talking about something completely new and different.
No, the state of affairs being created from the previous. The previous doesn't exist anymore. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you, is this going to be a contradiction given that it denies acting points and semantics?
Is what going to be a contradiction?
My position now. Is this going to be a contradiction given that I deny acting points and semantics?
You can either deny that change exists, or
I never said. Well, no, I never said that. But given what I just said, can that be coherent? Given that I deny acting potency.
No. So if your position now is that I deny acting potency, and I believe that every single time I see something that changes, quote unquote, is just a new thing that is sprung into existence, you're denying that change exists. You're both saying that change exists and it doesn't exist.
No, when did I say that?
Okay, so I don't think that you've actually read the position on acting potency.
Wait, quickly, but I have 3 minutes, so if you can, yeah.
Okay, so since you only have 3 minutes, I'll suggest you read this. So you could.
Wait, read what?
It's very quick. You can read Garrigou-Lagrange on acting potency. You could just read this first section. He's gonna talk about the reasons as to why the position that you hold, and these are old positions. So like this is Parmenides, who denies the reality of motion, saying that like change doesn't exist, and Heraclitus, who makes motion and change the one reality. He explains Parmenides' two arguments here. And then it goes against pretty much like everything that we see within reality. And then pretty much the reason as to why acting potency has to be a thing in order to explain the existence as we know it. Like it's pretty much necessary to explain our worldview of change. This is the reason as to why like you can't really reject acting potency. Since you only have 3 minutes, I would suggest that you read this. It's Garrigou-Lagrange, a synthesis on Thomistic thought. So if you just type in and I personally, what I read it on is on like the Catholic Library Project. That's the website that I was on because like to me it's simple to navigate. But you can read it on whatever, and it's gonna be, I think it's chapter 5, and you can read that, and you can pretty much see that like your position doesn't make sense.
Since I don't have time, I'll come back to speak to you about this another time.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Yo, hello?
Yeah.
Yo, how's it going, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. So your prompt says, why aren't you Christian, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like actually like impossible to be a Christian. Did you know that?
So I'm doing the impossible?
Well, no, you're not doing it either. Would you say that to be a true Christian, you'd have to be a Trinitarian?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that another condition of being a Christian is to follow Jesus?
Or if you're a Trinitarian, you're following Jesus.
Oh, really? Was Jesus a Trinitarian?
Yeah.
Would Jesus worship the Trinity?
Yeah.
Where?
When he worships the Father.
The Father's the Trinity?
So the Father is the God that's triune. Jesus worships like himself and the Holy Spirit as well.
Oh, okay. So the Father's
You can
triune. Is the Father
literally-
three persons?
No, the Father's not triune.
Okay.
So
Nice.
you
So you just
can-
contradicted yourself. Thank you.
No,
Where did
you
Jesus
can
worship the Trinity?
literally. So here, you can read Saint Augustine on the Trinity, where it's going to be talking about the exact thing that you're talking about, where Jesus worships the Father, he worships himself, he worships the Spirit, he teaches us to worship the Trinity. So when
Okay,
you're
wait.
following,
Where did Jesus worship the Spirit?
so when you're literally in any action that is done, Jesus is teaching us how to worship, how to give worship.
Oh, okay. So where?
Yeah.
So where does he worship the Spirit? I'm asking you.
Yeah. So what do you think worship is?
What do I think worship is? However
Yeah.
you define it. It's just going to be an internal critique, so it's however you define it.
Yeah, so when Jesus prays, when he sends the Spirit, when he does all these things, any and every time he does anything, like any type of worship that you think that he's doing, he's going to be worshiping the Trinity. Like God is triune. He's teaching us how to worship the triune God.
Oh, so when he sends the Spirit, he's worshiping the Spirit?
Any action that you see as worship is going to be him worshiping the Father, the Son, and the
No,
Spirit.
you just said any action you see as worship is going to be
Yeah,
him
it's
worshiping. That's a
going-
circle. That's a circle.
Any action that you understand that worship is, all three persons are going to be worshiped there. You can literally read this in the Fathers. This isn't tough.
Sorry, can you repeat what you just said?
Any action that you understand is worship. He's going
Any
to be
action that
worshiping.
Jesus does in relation to any of the persons of the Trinity is worship?
Anytime he prays, for example, all three
Oh,
persons
so
are
when
going
he
to
prays
be
to the Father,
worshipped.
he's praying to the Spirit?
All three persons are going to be worshipped.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So when Jesus says you are the only true God to the Father, he's talking to the Spirit as well?
Yeah, when he says
Oh.
when he says that you are the only true God and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent, right? All three
He's
persons
talking to the
are.
Spirit as well?
That's not no. So what's being said there is not going to be a negation of the Son and the Spirit.
No, I didn't say it was a negation. I'm asking you. You said that anytime he's anything in relation to
Anytime
what he
he's
does to the
yes,
Father,
anytime he's
it's going to be to the Spirit
yes,
as well.
anytime yes,
so
anytime
how
he's,
is that him talking to the Spirit? Go ahead.
no. So you're asking about the worship that's being done. The person that's being indexed is different, but the worship that's being done in regards to God, the reverence that's being paid to God, all three persons are going to be paid that reverence. The person that is being spoken to could be different, but all three persons still be referenced. The same way in which I can say I can start my prayer. Hold on. The same way I could start my prayer with Our Father or Dear Heavenly Father and still be worshiping all three persons. The person that I may be referencing may be the person of the Father, but
Each
it does not.
person picks out all three persons?
When you're talking about God, yeah, like you're not going to be able to
So that
separate the
violates law of
persons.
transitivity, actually.
What do you think? How?
Is each person a Trinity? Yes or no?
When you're talking about Trinity, you're talking about the persons.
No. That's not what I asked. That violates the law of transitivity.
Okay,
because
how?
each person, is Jesus a Trinity or is the Father a Trinity? Yes or no?
No, if you're saying is the Father a Trinity, no.
Yeah.
The
Oh, okay.
Father's a person
So
of
it
the
doesn't
Trinity.
pick out what you said. So once again, can you
How
tell
does
me where Jesus
that? How
worships
does
the
it
Trinity?
violate transitivity?
Yeah. So I'll present it to you. So would you say that the one triune God is three persons?
That's what triune is talking
Okay.
about.
In order to be God, you have to be three persons or triune, correct?
No,
Okay. Why not? So Yahweh is how many persons is Yahweh?
Yahweh is three persons.
Okay. Is Jesus Yahweh?
Jesus is Yahweh, but when you're talking
Jesus three
about
persons?
so here, this is a very simple objection. So when you're saying about triune, you're talking about the persons. You're saying that there is there are three persons, one essence. There's three, un, one. So when you're saying is God triune, you're saying is God three persons, right? So is there one essence that's possessed by three persons? Yeah. That does not now necessitate that one person is triune. Because when you're talking about triunity, you're
I
saying that there
agree.
are three persons. So
I
when
agree.
you're
It doesn't
okay,
necessitate for them each to be triune, but since they're not triune, Jesus never worshipped the Trinity. Thank you for proving my point.
you're just an idiot.
Yeah, I think you are, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, what do you think I said?
Yeah, you just made my argument for me. You said that just because God is triune, it doesn't necessitate that all three persons are triune, correct? That's not what I'm asking you.
No, when you're talking
You
about
answered nothing, basically. You answered gibberish.
no, when you're talking about triunity, when you're talking about the Trinity, you're talking about the persons.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's an improper question to ask, is the Father a Trinity?
Wait, why is it improper?
Because when you're saying Trinity, you're talking about the persons.
So if you believe that Jesus worshipped
So
the Trinity,
you're asking me pretty much, is the Father three persons?
Sorry, I got a call. Can you repeat that?
You're pretty much asking me, is the Father three persons?
Exactly, and he's not, correct?
Right.
Oh, so Jesus never worshipped the Trinity. So therefore, you can't be a Christian. Thank you. Thank you for proving my point.
You didn't load up, Cora.
Yo, what's up, brother?
What's up?
Man, so I got a question, bro.
What's up?
It's about the crucifixion of Jesus. If you don't, or you don't like the topic, because I saw your face.
I was laughing at the YouTube chat. Somebody had said, it's joking.
So you believe you believe Jesus got crucified, and because of that, he took your sins, I guess, or your sins are forgiven.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
Okay, go ahead.
So, do you believe it is necessary that he had to be sacrificed for you to get forgiven, or do you think you could also be forgiven without him being sacrificed?
So it's more than just Jesus' incarnation and death is more than just like a transgression, like God satisfying the transgression of the law, but it's also about the repairing of our nature and the defeat of death, right? So when we're talking about Jesus dying for our sins, when you go against the source of life, you bring about death. So what God does is that one, he unites our nature unto himself. And that happens through the incarnation. When God becomes man, anything that God touches, he restores. Right? So when he touches our nature, he restores our nature. He fixes that which was broken. And then when he separates from that nature and touches death, he literally changes death. He restores death. So where in death we used to be like separated from God, now through death we are united back unto God. So that's it's more than just like, oh, we broke some rules, but it's about the repairing of nature and the defeat of death as well.
So, right. So, what did Jesus' crucifixion change the nature of human? What did it change? Because we were...
It changes our disposition towards God.
Right, but before we were sinners, and today we still remain sinners, right? So which nature changed?
Yeah, our nature was doomed to hell. So there was no salvation for us outside of the incarnation, death, and resurrection. And then when Jesus incarnates, we now are able to be back in union with God. We are able to be saved.
Right. So you believe Jesus he's 100% human and 100% God.
We don't like to use percents. It'd be easier for you to say he's truly man, truly God.
All right. So when he was Jesus being forced to the cross, or
no, he went willingly.
He went willingly. So you believe he's true human, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you call a human that plans his death willingly. It's called suicide. Did your God commit suicide?
No.
But you said he's a true human who willingly wanted to die, and if a human did that, it would be called, schmoocide.
If I lay my life down to save my family, did I commit suicide?
No, but
Okay, so Jesus laying his life down to save his creation isn't committing suicide.
But you as a human, can you stop the situation from even happening? No. But
Yeah.
God, no. Can you stop the train from even coming your way before it did? No. God can, right? So God dictates what happens. You don't.
So suicide is going to be the taking of your own life, right? Jesus doesn't take his own life, but he lays his life down. So there are other people who go on to unalive Jesus, which is why Peter says that this is the Jesus whom you've killed, right? And he's not talking to Jesus, he's talking to the specific people who unalived Jesus. So that's not suicide, bro.
So those people who unalived him, they are referred in the Bible. They're referred as the lawless people. So you believe God willingly let lawless people kill him in order for us to be forgiven? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, do you know why?
So why did the lawless people kill a good man?
Well, because they're lawless. So these people who claim that they love God, when they saw him, they rejected him. When they saw the things that he did, they hated him, because these people actually hate God. So when they came confronted with God, it spurred that hate and they sought to kill him. So that's the reason as to why they unalived him, because they didn't like God. And that's why Jesus said it all the time. If you loved God, you love me. If you followed God, you would follow me, because he is God. But they hate God, which is why Jesus said that they are of their father, the devil.
So, like you said, those people hated God, but God willingly let them kill him.
Because God isn't like us, where he gets petty and he's very shallow, but rather he sees that even though you're doing these things, you don't understand to the full extent. The actions that you are taking are literally killing you. It's damaging your very nature, which is why when Jesus is on the cross, he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The things that you're doing, you don't even understand the gravity of your decisions. So I'm doing this for you in your ignorance to save you from yourself. And that's what God does, because God's not short on love. And when he incarnates, he decides to show us the proper way to love, how to pray for your enemies and wish the best for them rather than just seek revenge. If Christ would have just hopped off of the cross and just sought to unalive everybody that wronged him, what lesson does that now teach us about our enemies and showing mercy and giving grace, right? No, instead, all the way up until death, he teaches us that, hey, I'm still going to sustain them of their life. I'm going to pray for their forgiveness. I'm going to die for their sins. And I'm going to willingly give up my soul for all of them and for all of you.
So God loved those people, right?
Yes.
So why does God call them the evil, lawless people, when he loves those people?
Because you can say the truth about someone's disposition towards God without hating them, right? Like I can say that someone is a sinner or someone doesn't like God, but it doesn't mean that I now have hate in my heart for when I'm speaking that truth.
Right. So, all right. So that's one thing, we got it out of the way. That about the suicide thing. So another thing about I got a question. So Jesus died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, you believe there's one God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many? So Jesus died, right? So did the Father die?
No.
Did the Holy Spirit die?
No.
Right? So one God died and two God didn't. So how come? Yes, one died and two didn't. You just said it, right?
No, so when you're saying God there, you're referring to a nature. You're trying to say that there's different existences.
Right.
Yeah, so the proper question would be how many persons died. And it's going to
Right.
be
How
that
many
one.
persons died?
Okay, one person died.
And two didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So if I go to your shop and I order 3 chicken wings and you give me one, and then you tell me, no, but it's the breading and then it's the bones and the flesh. So it's 3 chicken wings. I'm gonna throw the chicken wing in your face, brother. You understand what I mean? Same what I'll do with this argument. I
Yeah,
will.
so when you're talking about 3 chicken wings, right? You're
Right.
saying that the essence of what a thing is, right? That's going to be instantiated multiple times. So you're saying that a chicken wing is the wing of one chicken or whatever, which is composed of all its parts. That's what a chicken wing is. And you're asking for 3 of those things, those actual
Right.
existences, okay? Now,
It's just funny because we're talking about chicken wings. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm here.
okay, so I'm gonna drop you and move on, and I'll explain the rest. All right. So when you're talking about like when they're sitting here and they're talking about God, right? They're like, oh, they'll do it with chickens, they'll do it with humans, or whatever the case may be, right? When you're talking about a thing, you're gonna be talking about an essence, and you could count like the essence of a thing, right? So if it's 3 chicken wings, you could define what that is, and then you could count said thing. There's no problem. With God, you're only going to count one essence because the Father, the Son, and the Spirit have the same exact essence. So you're not going to count multiple essences. You're not going to count multiple things. You're going to count, you could count 3 persons, but person is different from nature, is different from essence. The Father, the Son, and the Spirit have the same exact nature, same exact essence. So they have the same exact power, same exact will, right? Same knowledge, all those things, those essential properties that make God God, they are that one thing. In regards to the person, they're distinct in person in regards to their relations to one another, but there's no division in the essence. With humanity, you're going to count multiple essences, right? If I have me, I have Light, and I have Jordan, right? There's 3 different rational animals there with 3 different minds, 3 different powers, 3 different wills, 3 different souls, and 3 different bodies. So you're going to count multiple essences, which is why it would be proper for you to say that there are 3 humans. With God, you're not going to count 3 different minds, 3 different wills, 3 different powers, 3 different souls. You're not going to count those things. You're only going to count one because there's only one between the 3 persons. So you will only count one God.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing fine also. I just got a couple of questions for you. The first one is talking about like if you understand the relevant distinction between theory and the deductive necessity in modal logic.
I didn't hear the first word that you said.
Theory, yeah, you have like theory necessity and you have deductive necessity.
Theoreto?
No, theory, like DE.
Oh,
Space
Dayre. Oh, okay, yeah. Dayre and Dedicta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you'd agree that like it's like a necessary property of God for him to be omnipotent, right?
For him to be omnipotent?
Yeah, that's like a defining characteristic of God. So like when you're talking about God exists, like me and you as theists would like say one of the characteristics of God, which is going to be a defining characteristic, is being omnipotent. Like you're all powerful, you're all knowing. Yeah.
Okay.
That stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're saying that Jesus is God, right? Because he's the Son, and of course the Son is going to participate in the Trinity, which entails that, given your position, that he would be God. The fact of the Son being Jesus would actually be incompatible with omnipotence, considering that at some moment he was actually a physical object. You agree with this, right?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay. So, do you believe omnipotence is compatible with physicality insofar as you could have a physical being that is omnipotent?
Yeah, but when you're talking about this, no, I say I disagree with that. But in regards to the son is immaterial in his essence. That which makes him omnipotent, that which makes him God, is immaterial. It's limitless.
So you understand that if you have like a specific property X, which is necessary of a given object Y, then you could not have any sort of existential case scenario in which that object Y does not possess X or possesses the negation of X.
We don't, yeah,
Right?
but
And
we
so if
don't,
you could,
yeah, but
so
we
if you
don't
could be
say
claiming,
we don't say that even when you have an echo for some reason, but we don't say that even when
okay,
Christ incarnates that he is not omnipotent, but he's not omnipotent in virtue of his human nature. He is omnipotent in virtue of his divine nature. He doesn't lose any qualities when he
yeah,
comes.
that's a problem. Right? So the problem here is you're going to be claiming that he is omnipotent in virtue of a particular nature, and in virtue of another piece of nature, he would not be omnipotent, right? So it could not be the case that any given object X could possess both the divine nature and the non-divine nature simultaneously. Identical to how, for example, John could not possess the nature of being a bachelor and being a husband, because these two natures are incompatible, right?
No, so when you're saying, okay, so when you're saying that he can't possess two natures, right? There's no like nature of a bachelor. A bachelor is just going to be an unmarried man. There's no
That's a bit
nature.
of a strong comment, by the way, just to be clear. I'm not saying that you cannot possess more than one nature. I agree with that part. I'm just saying you can't possess two natures which are going to be incompatible with one another. Like
Yeah, that's not
direct
true.
negation
That's
of
not
one
true.
another.
Because
So,
like it's
so you think it is
yeah, you
given
could.
natures?
So like for example, right? Like your human nature is going to be composed of two natures, especially under Christian like theology, which is going to be like the nature of a soul and the nature of a body. It is proper to the
Why should we
nature of.
grant this proposition?
Excuse me.
Why should anyone grant that proposition to be correct?
Are you atheist or Muslim?
I'm a Muslim. I don't believe that the human nature is a conjunct of soul and body. I think they're separate. I think you're conflating personal identity account and
Wait, so what do you
human
think
nature.
death is?
I think that is going to be the sign which marks the end of human body development.
So you don't believe that death is just the separation of soul and body?
No, actually, I don't know what it means for the soul to be separated from the body. That indicates some sort of like physical relation.
Wait, so when
I don't know what's so confusing for you to understand here.
do you believe that you have a soul?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that your soul is
I
going to
think
be
I am.
judged?
I think I am a soul. I think I am a soul, essentially.
Do you have a body?
When you say you have a body, what does that mean there?
Do you possess a body? What is hold on, what is human nature to you?
Human nature is just going to be all the relevant biological facts, which makes me part of the Homo sapien species. All of those are going to be physical facts. None of that is going to be related to a soul or a non-physical phenomenon.
So when your hadith says that like he created Adam in his image, what does that mean to you?
I think that's an obvious figurative expression. Like clearly God does not have an image.
So then what does that mean?
I love how you change the conversation.
No, I'm trying to. You're asking why would anyone grant that? So I'm asking about your worldview as to why you don't, because you're the first Muslim that I met that doesn't. Hold on, that doesn't grant that. So I'm trying to understand your worldview so I could better talk to you. So when your hadith says that Allah created Adam in His image, what does that mean?
I don't know where you're screaming, right? So first and foremost, there are unclear verses. So it is not a requirement for one to even have a specific epistemic access to Allah's intention behind these verses for it to be the case that I'm in a position to criticize your position. You agree that we're talking about your position here, and what you're doing is changing the conversation.
Bro, can you just tell me what it means for Adam to be created in Allah's image?
I told you that it is not a verse which ought to be taken literally. That's not going to be something which is
Okay, you said it's figuratively. What does it mean? What What's the figurative language that's being
How is
used
this
there?
relevant to you talking about the contradiction?
Because
That's what I'm
when Allah creates man, so humans in His image is talking about His soul.
prove that claim.
Okay. So, well, I'm not going to do your homework for you, actually. You can go and look at your own.
You have the homework of actually proving
Yeah,
the claim.
you can actually go and
You're
look at your
assuming
own
that.
Muslim. You could go and look at your own Muslim scholars as to what they believe that means, because obviously they
You
don't
think
want
the
to
Muslim
say
scholars are
that.
necessarily correct?
No, I don't. I'm saying
So,
that
hold
for
on.
your position, you can go and
Okay.
see what you actually hold to.
Your assumption here is that soul is a part of human nature, which you have not verified to be something which is entailed from my religion. So I'm just going to say that as 3 points right there. So to get back to the other point that we were talking about, to which you're running away from, right? We're talking about whether or not it is the case that you
Capitized.
believe that you could have one thing
NZ
which has two opposing natures.
$2.00.
What do you think it means for
Quick
something
pop
to
in
have a
for a
nature?
dono. Gotta go now.
Hey, shout out to you. You said what though?
Yeah, I was asking you what's your semantical analysis of nature in the context of these conversations. What do you mean by nature?
That what makes a thing what it is.
That's what makes the thing what it is. Are these things gonna be essential characteristics or non-essential characteristics?
Essential characteristics.
So why did you say that it is not the case that bachelor could be a nature if that could play a role in identifying the given objects?
Yeah, because when you're talking about a nature, right, and these essential attributes of a thing, when you're saying like, oh, a bachelor is just going to be a definition for a person that has a specific nature. So you're talking about a man that is unmarried. That's it. So a bachelor just going to be
But
the.
if the man is unmarried, then clearly it's going to be essential for that man to be in a state of possessing.
That doesn't mean that this man. That doesn't mean that. Okay, so that doesn't mean that. Oh, this thing has a different nature from a married man. You're just talking about definitions of words.
Hold on a second. So you're not understanding the point of it being the case that clearly they're not going to have the identical nature holistically. They can have the same nature, only in the sense of being a human, but not in the sense of being, for example, married or unmarried, respectively.
So
there's some levels of distinction. So
exactly.
You're my points here.
Exactly. So when you're saying that, oh, somebody can't be both a bachelor and married, yeah, that's very obvious, because you're saying you're negating the thing in the very same sense, right? That's the problem.
But your definition of a nature is that which makes are going to be the facts which make something what it is, correct?
Yeah. So when you're talking about a bachelor, you're talking about a nature. You're talking about a man. That's what you're talking about. And a bachelor is just going to be a word to describe, oh, this person, this man that is not married. There's no like separate nature of bachelors. That's just a word to explain something.
Your whole account of nature is you basically saying that nature is going to be the relevant facts which describe the particular object X, right? That definition results in
No, that's just like a predicate, bro.
That's your definition.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry about that. That's your definition.
No, that's not, bro. So, do you want to just present your argument? Like we're just going around in circles.
Okay, sure. I think it's pretty obvious there's a contradiction. Like you've not even tried the contradiction, but that's fine.
What's the contradiction?
Well, the contradiction was me basically pointing out that physicality, which you've agreed which is incompatible with omnipotence, is something you'd have to assign to this given thing, which was at one moment in time physical.
Okay, is your conscience physical?
Consciousness?
Yeah.
You said conscience. That's funny. No, it's not physical. I don't believe consciousness is a physical thing.
Okay, are you physical? Is your body a physical thing?
My body's physical, but I'm not physical, essentially. No.
Okay, so
I think usually when people say that I'm physical and physical objects, they're equivocating on the terminology. They're referencing their body and not the actual consciousness, which is a different thing. Right, so we're participating in the physical universe, but they themselves essentially are not a physical thing.
Is your consciousness shown through your physicality, your ability to speak?
No, I don't think they're shown through my physicality. Actually, I believe consciousness is shown through a specific type of metacognition called phenomenal.
What's up?
What's up?
What you kicking, bro?
He's literally just rambling. No, I don't.
So was he
I don't
Muslim
think,
or what?
Yeah, no, I don't think that my consciousness is shown through my ability to speak. I think it's a meta reality. Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, you're just saying anything to try to get around the point, bro. Like,
Right. So, bro, do you agree that God is all knowledgeable? Or no. Do you believe God is all capable?
do I believe that God's all powerful?
Capable, powerful, yeah, same thing. Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, can the all powerful be given authority? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I have the hiccups.
That's
Can
cute.
the all powerful be given authority?
Alright. I don't know what in the world this line was. I don't know what this line was, man. They say I'm be drunk. Yeah, man. I don't know what this was, but highlights from tonight's live before we go into 2026. 2026 is off to a pretty good start, man. We found out that the Muslims God that they believe in, of course God not omnipotent, of course God not omnipresent. Amen. Of course God spatial, of course God temporal, of course God changes. Amen. Oh, Trent. Omar the Muslim came up, said, nah, hell no, I don't believe God omnipresent. Amen. Then Cora came up and said, hey, I'm going to take his and I'm going to raise his 10. God mutable, God spatial, God temporal, and God not all powerful. Hold on. I got to see if I can find a clip, bro. Hold on. I got to see if I can find it. Give me one sec, bro. I'm finna see if I can find it real quick so I can see. That stuff was hilarious. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Hold on. No, that doesn't change that. Alright, where was I talking to her? There we go.
When I posit counterfactual
Jesus
dependency between the
Christ.
attributes and the essence, that is me directly negating ontological priority of the attributes to the essence.
Is the essence without the attributes?
But essence is a set of essential properties.
Okay, so
A better example I would give would be like omniscience and I don't know, like power in this instance, being all-knowing and being the most powerful.
So God's spatial, he's temporal, he's mutable, and he's not omnipotent.
Okay, so no, God is not omnipotent, he's omniscient. I believe that God is spatio-temporal, and I also believe that God is immutable if what you mean by immutability in this case is essential change, or being changed by another.
You got me.
And again,
You got
yet
me.
to prove, and
You got me.
I got you there.
You got me. Woo! You got me. That God crazy. Woo! You got me.
You got baked though.
Man, hey,
got baked, though. You got baked, though.
Bake me,
You got
man.
baked.
Yep, you got a God that's spatial, temporal, changes, and not omnipotent. You got me.
You got baked.
You got me. Go ahead.
You got baked.
Go ahead. Take that
It's
one.
okay, but my God isn't
Take that one.
My God isn't omnipotent. My God.
Take that one. My God. Hey, she left with saying, "My God is the omnipotent." all the Muslims in here. I just want y'all to remember. Hold up, right? Hold up, right? I gotta. All right, let's see it.
Because that actually, I'm glad you had that conversation because I had a question way earlier in the day, but nobody answered.
Wait,
Doesn't that
what
mean
you?
that Allah needs space, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's localized and he needs space. Then.
Yeah. All right, hey, man, brother, you get it now. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. We gonna watch this as a family as we go into 2020. This is good. This is good, man. We done found things out.
No.
Okay, so
And by
these
the way,
things.
God is not omnipotent, just to clarify. A better example I would give
That was so that was my fault. I was like, hey, yo, like I was going off of the presupposition that God was omnipotent. My bad. My bad. That's on me. I thought we was talking about God. I didn't know we was talking about created things. That was on me. So she corrected me on that, and I appreciate that. She saw my error there. I was like, hey, we talking about the all-powerful God. No. That's what you talking about, bro. We're not all-powerful. Come on. I respect that personally.
be like omniscience and I don't know, like power in this instance, being all-knowing and being the most powerful.
So God's spatial, he's temporal, he's mutable, and he's not omnipotent.
Okay, so no, God is not omnipotent, he's omniscient. I believe that God is spatio-temporal, and I also believe that God is immutable if what you mean by immutability in this case is essential change, or being changed by another.
You got me.
And again,
You
you've
got
yet
me.
to prove, and
You got me.
I got you there.
You got me. Woo! You got me. That God crazy. Woo! You got me.
You got baked though.
Man, hey,
got baked, though. You got baked, though.
baked me. Baked me. Man. Yep, you got a God that's spatial, temporal, changes, and not omnipotent. You got me.
You got baked.
You got me. Go ahead. Girl.
You got baked.
Go ahead. Take that
It's
one.
okay, but my God isn't
Take that one.
My God isn't omnipotent. My God.
Take that one. Hey, all the Muslims in here, I just want y'all to remember, your God is spatial, so he limited. He temporal. He changes. He's mutable, and he not all powerful. Go ahead, y'all got it. They said I was, they said I was doing damage control doing this. God no more. That's what they said. They said I was doing damage control. We're not even talking about God. What do I need to defeat? Yeah, I got her to concede that she just believe in a created being. That's just a created dude. Everything that I just listed about Allah, that's me. I'm spatial, I'm temporal, I'm mutable, and I'm not omnipotent. That's literally me. That's me. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? Hey, I'm actually dumb, man. They gotta take a mic away from me. I ain't going. They gotta take a mic away from me. I shouldn't be allowed to do this to people. I shouldn't be allowed to do this to people, bro. That's not okay. She was happy about it. Like,
She was. I mean, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but she was happy.
bro, and somebody said that like all the Muslims was in the comments like she killing it, bro. Like she said, bro, they was in the comments talking about she brilliant, bro. She and everything she said about Allah, but she could be explaining a llama. We wouldn't know the difference, bro. We wouldn't know. Like and that's the thing, bro. I had like 280 people watching at one time.
No, we need that clip for sure. I'm gonna be.
They saying that is available on YouTube for the world to see. Omar came up before. If I could find his clip, I just can't remember exactly where it was. Omar came up before. Said, hell no, God not omnipresent. Hell yeah, God spatial. Just straight up. I'm like, he was like, bro, you think your God in a bathroom? Like, bro, you think, bro, like they believe that you could go to these places and like hide from Allah. Like, he not there, bro. Like, he not there. That's so crazy, bro. Like, there's places that exist where Allah just not present. Nobody believes that, huh? No one believes that. No one believes that. Y'all must have missed the clip. Y'all must have missed the clip, man. Your boy Omar the Muslim believe that. Your girl Cora believe that. They both came up here and told me what all these Muslims believe. They said that y'all believe in a created deity. One with limits that change. That's not all powerful. That's y'all God. There y'all go. I don't want no Muslim to sit here and be like, you think God could become man? He is. the God that y'all serve is that, bro. He just created. Like, come on, bro. I'd have to see the recording. All right, bro. Since you asked so nicely, I got you. I got you, gang. Don't even trip.
He said, "Let me see it expeditious."
Yeah, I got you. Don't even trip, bro. Omnipotence is not identical to his omniscience, right?
No.
Okay, so
And by
these
the way,
things.
God is not omnipotent, just to clarify. A better example that I would give would be like omniscience and, I don't know, like power in this instance. Being all-knowing and being the most powerful.
The most. So God's spatial, he's temporal, he's mutable, and he's not omnipotent.
Okay, so no, God is not omnipotent, he's omniscient. I believe that God is spatio-temporal, and I also believe that God is immutable if what you mean by immutability in this case is essential change, or being changed by another.
You got me.
And again,
You
you've
got
yet
me.
to prove, and
You got me.
I got you there.
You got me. They don't even understand. Crazy. Woo! You got me.
You got baked though.
Man, hey,
got baked, though. You got baked, though.
Bake me,
You got
man.
baked.
Yep, you got a God that's spatial, temporal. They saying she clearly ignorant. That like she like a top Muslim debater on this app, right?
She's like, she went from Discord to TikTok, basically. But
Yeah, she like a top Muslim on this app.
But you know how the Muslims are; they'll cheerlead anything that the Muslims that like.
Bro, and you know what's crazy? Me, Jordan, Cam, and Abe was saying, and we was joking. We never thought it'd get this serious. But we said, bro, they could really say my God's created, and Muslims would be in the chat like, of course. They cooking right now. Hosts getting baked. They be like, yeah, our God started to exist. It wouldn't matter to them. Never once will any Muslim be like, whoa, like, hold up. Never. She didn't say, hold on, wait, Sola. She didn't say what? She didn't say what? She said that your God is temporal, is spatial, is, well, him by saying those things, he's mutable, and he's not all powerful.
You need space.
She didn't say that. All right, bro.
We'll run it back.
I could. Like, should I run it back?
I mean, 3 times.
You not. Run it back. I got you, gang. Don't even trip. I got you. This is good stuff, man. Bake me.
You got baked, I guess. And I not.
And he's not omnipotent.
Okay, so no, God is not omnipotent. He's omniscient. I believe that God is spatio-temporal, and I also believe that God is immutable if what you mean by immutability in this case is essential change, or being changed by another.
You got me.
And again,
you got
yet
me.
To prove, and
you got me.
I got you there.
You got me. Woo! You got me. That God crazy. Woo! You got me.
You got baked though.
Man, hey,
got baked, though. You got baked, though.
Bake me,
You
man.
got baked.
Yep, you got a God that's spatial, temporal, changes, and not omnipotent. You got me.
You got baked.
You got me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take that
It's
one.
okay, but my God isn't in
Take that one.
My God isn't omnipotent. My God.
Take that one. My God,
Hey,
she
all
ended
the-
it
all the
all.
Muslims
Like in here. I just want y'all to remember, your guy is spatial. So
She's
he limited.
laughing, bro.
He's temporal.
He laughing.
He's Cora must be a Christian in disguise. You did good work for the kingdom today, Cora. Good job. Good job, Cora. You did good work for the kingdom. I appreciate that. God bless you. God bless you, man. Hey. Hey, man. So look, I'm gonna go. Everybody, please, have a great New Year. Some of y'all is like 45 minutes away. Some of y'all already in the New Year. I got a couple hours, man. God bless you guys. In the name of, my guy Dom is about to go live. Everybody, please go over to Nobody's live, specifically on YouTube. Go over to Nobody Specials live on YouTube. Watch on YouTube. But yeah, man, God bless you guys. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit, I pray that all of you guys are well. YouTube. Oh my God. There were so many problems with every single argument. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was difficult for me to choose which avenue to go down. But every person that came up, it seemed like they should be smarter than they actually were. Like, Omar is just saying things that he doesn't understand. Cora is definitely saying things that she doesn't understand. And it's like, man, like, none of you guys really know what's going on at all. People in a comment, like, and that's the thing, it's like, in these debates, I want to have time to make sure that the people in the comments understand what's going on. Right? That's what I desire. Like, I don't want to just be speaking past a whole bunch of people where we have 200 people that don't know what's being said, what's going on. So, in regards to, like, what Omar said, God being omnipresent, they're always going to pull up this objection. They're going to say, hey, so you believe that God is, you believe that God's in the toilet. That's what they're going to say. You believe God's in the bathroom? You believe God's in my pocket? You believe God's in the toilet? God's omnipresence, meaning that his presence can be felt everywhere. God is that which sustains all that exists. If his presence is not there, it does not exist. So obviously, God's going to be in the bathroom, the toilet, in the pocket, whatever the case may be. Not saying that God is confined to that place, but if God was not there, it would not exist. God is that which grants existence to all things. His presence can be felt everywhere. So when they say that God's not omnipresent, one, you're placing limitations on his presence. Limitation on his presence is going to be an imperfection. Imperfection is going to imply potency. That thing is not going to be God. That's one. His God is spatial in regards to Omar, right? If your God is spatial, once again, it's implying a limitation. As we said, any type of limitations that are going to be applied is automatically is not going to be God. Because God doesn't have any limitations. When I run the argument for the existence of God, that's one of the reasons as to why I like it so much, is because from there, I can also deduce the attributes that are necessary, right? Like him being eternal, him being immaterial, him being immutable. All of these things of classical theism, you can go on to deduce that from the argument from motion, from him being purely actual. They're granting that God is purely actual, but then saying that God is temporal. That's the problem. So, here, I'll show you guys. Look at this. I'm actually doing some YouTube content. So, oh my God, I had wanted to run this one argument because she said that one of the arguments is, one of the essential attributes is God's goodness, and I have an argument. I think it's this one right here. I have an argument as to how goodness literally entails that God is multi-personal, and I haven't really ran it because there's certain things that I want to like work out, but so I haven't really ran it, but I was really tempted to run this argument about how if you say that God is goodness or God is the supreme good, it entails that he's multi-personal. Like that's like right here, I'll show you guys in regards to the argument for motion, right? So this is a document that anybody can access because there are a lot of people who are running the argument for motion on TikTok, and they were running it incorrectly. Good requires relation, good does require relation, yeah. So anybody can access this argument. It's just a Google Doc that I created to explain the argument for motion, explain the terms, and then just see the argument like formalized. You have a premise by premise, you have a more concise premise by premise. Usually I'll just run this, but this is just a sheet that I created to help people understand the argument for motion and just have a little bit of structure. What's the name? Now, in regards to God's attributes, right? Going from the attributes of the unactualized actualizer, you can go to how we know that this being is one to how it's all knowing, right? But here's one of the things that we're talking about. If the purely actual actualizer could change, then it would go from potential to actual in some respect, but it has no potential, so it cannot change. Therefore, it is immutable or unchangeable, right? Whatever changes exists in time, since time is the measurement of change, which they agree to. But the purely actual actualizer is immutable. Therefore, it exists outside of time, pretty much. It's eternal. It's just very clear. If it does not change, if it's immutable, and time is the measurement of change, this being must exist outside of time, since time is the measurement of change. But they believe that God is both purely actual and in time, obviously, which is just a contradiction. This is in regards to him being immaterial and corporeal. Also, if the being is in space, it's like in some sense is going to have like some type of form to it, which is going to imply potential. So like even your soul, it has some form to it. And your God wouldn't be perfect because it has privation. Like when it's not omnipresent, it has some type of privation, which means that he's not the purely actual actualizer. So all of these attributes that they're saying about God literally just go against what we know God to be, right? So they believe in it's something different. It's something different. So hopefully that can. Oh, also omnipotence as well. The power is the capacity to actualize potentials. All actualized potentials are either actualized by the purely actual actualizer or a chain that terminates in it. So all power ultimately derives from the purely actual actualizer. So to be the source of all power, of which all power derives, is to be omnipotent. So the purely actual actualizer is omnipotent, which she says no. Yeah, so like all of these things is like you can just use the argument for motion to see all of these things. So that's unfortunate for her. Hopefully for the people who stayed, you guys are able to follow along and see. Everybody please have a good new year. God bless you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.